Yeah, 2 meat chicken, a fry, and the apple pie. Yeah, I'm gonna drink 7 up. Oh. Whew. Yeah, I had to make my own live, you feel me? Since everybody was on my other live, not my live, but another dude live. They had a lot going on over there. It was a good topic, but I don't think it got anywhere because it was too much going on, man. Too much going on. So I said, let me go and start I dropped my little piece and I said, let me go start my own, man. There's a lot going on over there. Well, yo, what up, Nathan? I ain't gonna be on here too long today now. I'm gonna try not to be. And I don't know if Lot gonna be on. So I'm gonna let me see. Let me go get my iPad real quick. And I got the black Aunt Viv, y'all. I got the black Aunt Viv, you know, OG. The OG. But I'm gonna let folks get in here. I'm gonna grab my little iPad real quick. And I'm gonna see if Locke is on and she feel like getting up in here to moderate. Hold on. Cause I feel like this gonna get spicy. If what happens, if what I think gonna happen, it's gonna get spicy, y'all. So hold on real quick. What the fuck? He got kicked out? I think he got kicked out, but I don't think he got kicked out because of that girl when he went to definitely thinking that's what happened. Domestic violence shit? Yep. Jesus. Because he out already and he's been out for a while. She was out for the I thought he might have told you. Jesus Christ. He said he told you. I was like, no, me and talked about him, the pros and cons of getting out. Right. But he didn't tell me that he was getting out. Jesus Christ. So I'm sure they kicked him out because she got orders to Washington. It won't have to rotate yet. Oh my God. And she got orders to Washington, so I was like, he's still in Florida? No, he's still in he went to Washington with her after he got kicked out. And that's what she had called. That's what they had called me because he called. So she in Bangor. Huh? She got there in Bangor. I don't know what she did. It's Bangor. That's where y'all base at out there. But she wound up calling the mayor crying, talking about she don't know what to do. He told he don't have no family and nowhere to go. Alright, nigga. But he had a no contact order. She had no contact order against him. It expired today, so he went back home. She goes to work. Her mother and sister moved out here to help her with the baby. Jesus Christ. This fool done got kicked out the Navy. Lord Jesus. He went out there and did everything I told him not to motherfucking do. Lord Jesus. Alright, y'all. We in here. I see the comments. Why it don't say how many people in here? That's weird. I can't see how many folks up in here. I guess because it ain't no really. I don't know. I guess it ain't nobody hitting that like button or something. I don't know. Y'all do y'all thing, man. Let me see if Locke gonna get on here before I start and we get started. So in the meantime, if y'all can, please get them likes up so we can get this thing started. Damn, what I think this is gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. Yo, what up? Yeah, it still ain't, I don't know, TikTok being weird. It ain't saying how many people we got up in here, but oh well. Because women I see a lot of fellas in the comments. I see a lot of fellas in here speaking their mind, speaking the negativity. I see. I just never met anyone I want to marry. It's not on the table for me though. Okay, TT. Um, yeah, man, y'all, fellas, whoever in the comments we this an open discussion tonight, so feel free to join up and speak your mind. Speak your minds. Hey, Kuma, I'm right there, bro. fellas, speak your mind. Y'all come up to the panel. Okay, we got 60 people in here. Shit, we good. Yeah, come up, man. We gonna be this gonna be a little open discussion today. So I'm trying to get folks in, and we gonna talk about this today. Cause I was just I went to another live, and I was there briefly. I think Chad was in there. And I was in briefly, said my piece, but they had too much going on. They had way too much going on. I had to deal. I don't think it was up there, but I said my piece, and like I said, they had a lot. I think he had like fucking 10 people at a panel, and excuse me. And so that's why I was like, let me get up out this thing. They taking forever. So yeah, man. Y'all come on up, man, so we can have this talk. We can talk about this. Again, I see a lot of the fellas, and honestly, that's really who I want to address and get y'all perspective, fellas. Because I think we hear enough about the women and their thoughts and views, and you know their opinions on us, and I think it'd be a good discussion for the fellas, because again, y'all in the comments, y'all acting like the women right now. When I'm talking about them women, boy, y'all be quick to jump in the live. Come on now. Y'all got a lot to say in the comments. I see a lot of the negative comments from the fellas. Come on, speak your mind. Don't be scared. Ladies, y'all free to join, but cause I see a lot of dudes. I see a lot of negative comments from the fellas so far. So I wanna pick their brains if they ain't scared to get up here and see what they talking. Bet. Okay, we got one. We got one that ain't scared to get up here. What's good, bro? What up? Chilling, man. What's good, man? What you got for me tonight, man?
Why are we afraid of marriage? I don't.
Not specifically. I'm speaking about us, our people, because I don't care about the motherfucker.
I just think that I don't think that people are afraid of marriage. I'm speaking from a man's perspective.
Yeah.
I don't think we're afraid of marriage. I just think that we don't really gain nothing from it.
And why you say that?
Unless like if a chick was with us shooting in the gym, I think we gain something from it.
I want to like preface this. So when we talking about it, I want us to talk in the perspective of we found us a good one,
Okay, a good woman.
or speaking towards finding a good one.
Okay.
Instead of just,
Okay, so everybody's definition of a good woman is different though.
I think we have a base of what's a decent woman, right?
Yeah. Okay. Of course, there's the benefits of having a good person. You wake up every morning to. Of course, there's benefits in that. I just. I just think that I think man just got too much to lose. If something goes wrong in a marriage, we just got too much to lose, man. Like it's like, I worked all this hard and you didn't help me get to where I'm at, and they just decide you just get bored or just get mad at me, just leave, just take half my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's not usually how it works, though.
How it work?
It usually work that people just stay married. most people, when you build together, there's more equity. Like both people have equity in the relationship. So the more you make as a married couple, the less likely you are to get divorced. That's why. That's why on my end, I always promote that men give a fuck about the money that they women make. They don't run out here and try to be super provider nigga man, because if you the man that's making all this money and you trying to provide and let your wife stay at home and do all this shit, she has no equity in that relationship. She has no financial stake in that relationship, so she's gonna get bored. She's gonna go searching elsewhere, and she's probably gonna take half because she ain't got nothing on. She ain't got nothing on her own. So I always promote that fellas do give a damn about the women. The people that I see that are married that are equally yoked in terms of education, in terms of finances, in terms of mental and emotional stability, those people tend to not get divorced because they're so, like me and my wife, for example, we're so interconnected because we done everything we have now, we built together.
That's what I'm saying. See, that's different right there. When you build when y'all build together, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like when you catch somebody at a young age, when y'all just basically grew together.
I wasn't necessarily young. My wife 5 years older than me.
No, I'm talking like when y'all started off at a. I mean, how old were you when you got married? In the 20s, right? In your 20s, right?
Yeah, mid-20s.
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm talking about. See, y'all started, but you were still relatively young though. You basically she basically see you grow up. You know what I'm saying? That's different. Like for like a person later on in life, you know what I'm saying? Like the 30s, mid 30s and older, whatever, trying to find a mate. You know what I'm saying? That that we both been through bad relationships and stuff like that, and then we come together. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like we just like I'm taking her on her ex's mess or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like.
That's why you get somebody that's healed. You don't get nobody that's
nobody heals though. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's fully healed.
You just have to choose the right one.
Hold on. Let them go.
Yeah, I agree with what she was saying though, but nobody's fully healed though. But healed to the point where they can accept the relationship. I get that too. But still though, I mean, but how would you know if somebody really healed though to that point though?
That's the thing, bro. You're never gonna know.
That's what I'm saying.
But at the end of the day, relationships are a risk, period.
Oh yeah. Everything.
So to that point, why do we only focus on the next? Well, how old are you? You said 30? You 30 something?
Yeah, I'm in the 40s. I'm in my 40s.
Okay. So honestly, I feel that it should be easier for you. Really? Because you should have your shit together. A woman should have her shit together, and 9 times out of 10, y'all ain't worried about kids. So the lady.
For the financial part, yeah, I agree with you. But the mental part, though, you know what I'm saying? That's two different things.
Can I speak on that part?
Yeah, go ahead, touch on that.
So for me, why are we afraid of marriage? For me, I'm afraid of marriage because I was married before. I'm like he was saying, when you in your 40s, it's different. I was married 10 years to the wrong person. So I want to get married again, yes, but am I scared? Hell yeah. Why? Because I don't want to put my whole self and my whole energy and my whole love and my whole support and my whole submissiveness and everything else into a guy, and then he wakes up one day and says, you know what? I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
That's what my fear is. It don't have nothing to do with money because I have a career of my own. I make good money for myself. It don't have nothing to do with 50-50, 100-100, none of that. It's my feelings, my emotions, my love. I love hard. And I give 100% of myself to my husband. And I don't want that to happen to me again. That's what my fear is.
So I'll give you, I'll put you in a little different box because you did try. But to the point of the wrong person, right? And I think that's where a lot of people have their perspective on is because they had picked the wrong person. So when you say that you now, I don't know how old you are, I'm assuming you're a lot older.
I just turned 45.
So at 45, you're more mature, right? You I would assume that you've healed, you've done the work.
Yeah.
Things of that nature.
Lots of therapy.
So has your You poop. So, has your mentality or vetting process in choosing men, has that grown and changed?
Yes, that definitely has changed because it lets me know to really take the time to do the work to get to know the man. See, I was so in love with my ex-husband. Like, he asked me to marry him after 6 months of dating, and I immediately said yes because I was anxious to be his wife because I loved him. And I knew I wanted to spend my life with him. You know, he, like you said, your wife 5 years older than you. I am like 8 years older than him. And
Okay.
so I knew what I wanted. I was ready. He was 20, I was 27. You know, and he went to work and he paid bills and he took care of home. We did it together, but he was still a cheater. He was still a liar. He was still raised by a single mom with 5 different baby daddies. You know, it was like what I was raised as traditional. I was raised in a traditional home with traditional values. I had my parents and my grandparents in the same house. So I saw 2 different generations of what marriage is and how it works and how to make it work. So I was raised to be a wife and I had very great examples in front of me, but he didn't have that. So I would say, yeah, now they take the time to get to know a person. That's what I learned. And I also learned not to give too many
It,
chances because I gave
it's
him chance after chance. And I'm just not willing to do that anymore.
so it was your
Sound
choice
to like
selection
that.
in men at the time.
I'm sorry.
Cause that, I feel like that was a you problem though. 'Cause
As far as what?
at 27, you ain't had no business talking. You ain't had no business talking to no 20-year-old dude.
I mean, shoot, he approached me. I liked him.
Like, and I no disrespect, but it's like,
I
It
feel
was
like
kind of
age is just
rushed.
a number. It's the maturity of the
well,
mind.
but that's
That's
what I'm
just me.
saying. You weren't. Oh, and you felt that at that time he was mature enough to be a husband and take marriage seriously.
My daddy was married at 21. So I assumed that he knew. He took the time to go buy a ring. He took the time to
But your
propose
But
to
he
father and
wasn't
me.
your
him is two
but he
different
wasn't your
people.
daddy.
Yeah,
Huh?
that's two different
But that's
structures. That's your
that's
father.
he not your daddy.
No, I'm just saying, I felt like if he took the time to go buy a ring,
But
he
that's where
took the
you
time to
messed up
think
at.
and know this
You
is what he
felt
wanted
like
to
that.
do.
You felt like that. He didn't feel like that.
I didn't
You
buy no
felt like
ring.
that.
I
You
didn't ask him
assumed
to
that.
marry me.
But that's what I'm saying.
I didn't ask him to marry
Hold
me.
on, hold on. I don't want to
I didn't
have a
ask him
lot
to
of back
marry
and
me.
forth.
He asked me to marry him. So I assumed he knew what he was asking for.
But you didn't.
I mean,
But
I
you
had
didn't
never been
have to
married
take
before,
that.
so shoot, I was ready to be married. I was ready to be a wife. I loved him. I knew that.
But okay, so you had so. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So you got married for the wrong reasons, despite having a viable option and resource. And say it was marriage, like the institution of marriage. It was you.
I don't know. I don't know. I can honestly say, like I said, I should have taken longer to know him. I understand that part. I can't
So,
hear you. I'm sorry.
all right. So is I'm still glitching.
No, it seemed like it's okay. Hey, right now. So could you kind of go back to what you were saying because it was going in and out.
All right, my fault. I don't know what the hell TikTok got going. No, so it honestly sounded like it was you.
Okay, so how was that? Explain.
So at 27, you went and got a 20-year-old.
I didn't went and got nothing. He came and got me, baby.
With that. Okay, but you didn't have to take it. You have a choice in this matter.
I did have a choice, but I loved him. I knew I loved him. In 6 months, I knew I loved him and wanted to be with him.
But okay, so take the love aspect out of it. As in his character, did that align with what a man that wants to family married? Did those align with what you wanted in a husband?
You said, did I what?
Okay, not to cut y'all off, but like, why are we still at 4K in lights? Like, why? Is all y'all in here and y'all can't tap the screen?
Is mine still
a little bit? Every now and then you going in and out.
Is mine. Let me get off the Wi-Fi. I don't know.
It's coming together now.
Okay, I just got off the Wi-Fi. The kids playing the game and shit. To her point, I'm saying it. What he was. So take the love aspect out of it. When you was dealing with him at the beginning, did the qualities and who he was as a man, as far as his character, as his morals, who he stood, his principles, and what he stood for as a man, did they align with what you wanted in a husband?
And it did align with what I wanted, but it
No. Not talk about it. Not talk about it. Did you see those things in his daily life in action?
As far as how he was to me, that's the only thing I saw. How he treated me for the first 6 months before we got married, I felt like, yeah, he goes to work. He knows how to, be a man and take care of business, because he was helping me with bills at my house before we had even gotten together in our own living space. He had his own son. I had my own son. He would help me with my son because my first child's father passed away. So he displayed to me qualities of a good man. Yes, he did.
So he was a good man because he helped with your kid and paid bills?
Like I said, he was, his personality, his character, he was good with his hands. Just a lot of things about him I liked about him.
And so the only reason why y'all didn't make it,
is because we were cheating. And I believe if he had not decided to do something else, he was cheating, not me.
He was cheating.
He had a whole baby on me, and I still forgave him and tried to keep my marriage together. But he decided that he wanted to get a divorce because he said he felt like he had put me through too much. And I was never going to leave him if it didn't happen. And I wasn't. I was going to be there and take all the crap that he was dishing out because I wanted my kids to have both their parents in the home. So I feel like he did me a favor by divorcing me, because had he not, I would have stayed, honestly, because I loved him that much.
Okay. I think you should have took a little more time.
I should have took a lot more time, and that's what I learned.
So I don't think the issue is marriage per se. I think that was a you and choosing issue. But I think that's a lot of people's issue is their past decisions and partners. They move forward in fear on people that they chose that they had no business choosing to begin with. Like, did you bring that man around your parents?
The funny thing is,
like the people that
my parents and my grandparents met him. My father, questioned him, had whatever talk he had because I wasn't in the room. And My mother pulled me to the side and my mother said, "Did you ask God about this situation?" And I looked at her and I said, "No." And I should have listened to my mom, but I didn't. My dad gave the, "Oh yeah, I like him and this and that." So I was like, "Dad say it's cool, okay." But my mom, her discernment was way better than my father's, and I should have went with that. Why didn't my mama ask me that? I didn't think twice. You know what I mean? So that's what I learned. I learned that I should have took my time.
Okay, so moving forward, do you believe that marriage
I still believe in marriage. I still believe in love, and I still
works?
believe in marriage. And I'm not, allowing that situation to deter me from what I truly want, which is a healthy, stable, loving, functioning marriage.
Okay. And so I guess I'm sorry. My next question would be, what are you doing moving forward to get to that? Because
We've been
you
married
said y'all,
10
how
years.
long was
Oh,
y'all
hold on,
married?
Miss T. Hold on. Okay, so since y'all didn't make the goal by the time I told y'all to, comments going off. Simple. 15K, y'all go.
She gonna get the belt out, y'all. Okay. So as long as you don't say that, I guess if you still moving forward in good faith and you still believe in it, I respect that. But I said, as far as your reasoning, I think that it's I'm not gonna say it's not a good reason. I'll say that it's more of, I don't think it's a good enough
To be
reason.
afraid because you don't want your feelings played with?
You got to know how your feelings are before
If
they
it's
play
based
with.
off of your past experience, if it's based off your past experience, then yes. And hearing your story, it was like you had a part to play in your feelings
Yeah, it
getting
sounds like
played with.
you haven't healed all the way, basically.
I have, but it's like, it's difficult now because of the demonizing that women get for being divorced, or the demonizing that women get for being single moms. So now it's difficult.
Yeah.
White women that get divorced 3-4
I
times
know,
and
and I'm
still
not
find a
denying
husband.
that. I've had somebody ask me to marry them since I've been divorced, and I said no. So it's not that I can't find nobody. It's just that people, you have to discern what's the reasoning behind some people, And so now I'm just very careful, and I'm very mindful of who I give my energy to, who I talk to. I'm not casually sleeping with people or none of that. I have really gotten in tune with myself and what I'm looking for.
But you know what, T though, you still sound like you're afraid though.
I
Facts.
mean, I of course, because it's a crapshoot in
Wait,
any relationship. It's a crapshoot. I'm willing to take the risk. I'm definitely willing to take the risk, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be full fledged like I was until I see certain things.
So I'll ask this, and then we'll go to someone else, preferably a fellow. What would you like if a man walked up to you, right? Y'all got to talking, y'all got to knowing each other, dating. What would be the qualities in him that would say, okay, I can put my fear aside and move forward with this man?
I
List
mean,
them all.
he would just have to show me assurance and security that he's totally for me, that he's not for the streets. That's basically all I need. It's not about what he can bring to the table like everybody looking for. It's not that for me. I love a man for who he is and his character and his personality and how he treats me.
So, okay. So right there, because you ain't list nothing,
I said
but
assurance
right there,
and
you say his
security.
character.
That's
But what about him as a man, as far as his traits, his characteristics, his principles, his morals? What are those things that when you look, you get to talking, you get to dealing with that man, that you can say, okay, I see a husband in him. So off rip, we'll say loyalty. but I wouldn't. There's no way to define loyalty. Like
Yeah,
just talking, you have to see that in
yeah,
action and how he deals with
yeah. So it's
people
like
who outside
I couldn't.
relationships.
That's why it would be hard for me to give you a list because I would have to see stuff in action first before I can just list. This is what I see or what I'm looking for. I have to see that being, played out in my face, not just him talking about it.
So, but again, I go back to just from what you can pick up on somebody as far
I just
like
need
their
to know if
traits and
he's
their
a believer. I
characteristics
need to
in a
know if
man.
he has a certain type of work ethic. I need to know if he has his own children. What's his relationship with his children? What's his relationship with his mother? If his mother's still alive, just that kind of stuff is important to me. Um, Him knowing how to treat a woman, him knowing how to, you know, if I need to be reprimanded or led in a certain direction, how would he approach that? How would he, show, that he's for me. That's all I can say, really.
See, and I think that's your issue because you can't be specific and pinpoint what exactly you
Exactly.
looking for and what you
Exactly.
need from a man in order to make a husband. Because if when I was going to and ladies, don't think I'm just picking on her because we're gonna get to the fellas too. So when I talk to fellas about their wives, they just be like, well, I just need a woman that's gonna treat me right. But what the fuck is that? You're not gonna get a woman that's gonna treat you right if you don't even know what defines that. What defines a woman that's going to likely not there's no guarantee, but a woman that's likely to treat you right, right? And so when I say, well, define the woman that if a woman walked up to you, what would be the characteristics or the things in her that would say I can make a wife out of her? So for me, when I was looking to settle down with a woman, some of the qualities, traits, characteristics I'm looking for is she compassionate, right? And the way I saw that was how did she interact? Like I said, because somebody can treat you. I always tell people don't pay attention to how someone
Yeah.
treats you, the person you're sleeping with. Watch and pay attention to how they treat other people, their
Yeah.
coworkers, their parents, their friends, their coworkers, other people that don't have romantic relationships with them, right? Or even how they treat strangers. So was she compassionate? Does she know how to? Is she sincere? Does she know how to apologize? And when she apologizes, is she sincere in that? How does she is she an honorable person? And when she says she's gonna do something,
Yeah, that's stuff that you
she
see.
does
That's
it.
stuff that you're gonna
Things
see. Like you said, those things are put into action. You don't know that just straight up meeting and talking to somebody. You have to know that.
right. And so that's why I say your initial marriage was a you problem because you got married to a 20-year-old
Yeah, I
in
did,
six
and he
months.
he asked. He asked, and I happily accepted.
Right. Right. So I think your initial issue was the idea of marriage was cool to you, and that's why that didn't work out. Whereas
I
now
don't
at
think it was
40,
the idea of
what,
marriage. It was what
45?
I was raised to like. My ideal was I was supposed to, get grown, get married, have kids, live life.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
idea of
so
marriage, that's what it is. The idea versus the man you're
yeah,
actually
I mean,
supposed to
but at the
deal
same
with.
time, like I don't judge people, and like I said, like to me,
Well, you should. You should. We
I just
do.
felt like
We should judge
age
people.
was not a big deal for me. I've never been with somebody my age.
It's
Everybody I've been with has been younger than me because I don't look my age and I attract younger people.
But you gotta understand something though. Like God, like I'm not trying to pick on you, cause this could go for me too in a sense though. But at your age right now, I'm not telling you to settle, but like a lot of guys, don't look for women your age. You know what I'm saying? Like especially like younger guys. You know what I'm saying?
I
They
under-
want younger. They normally date younger women.
they normally do, but like I said, I don't look my age, And I
that
have
don't.
men, I have guys as young as 25 try to talk to me, and I have to tell them I can't do it, baby. Uh, I can't do it. I'm old enough to be that mama.
So I won't say. Well, I mean, at 45, I think the lowest you should go
My
is
lowest
probably
is
30.
33.
But yeah, I say because you need a different, you at a different point in life. You know what I'm saying? But for like the women that are like in their 30s right now, I'm not gonna be the person that says age doesn't necessarily matter to a degree, because it does boil down to mentality, but there are certain things that a 20-year-old man just got to get, might have to go through or get over if he's like undisciplined. You know what I'm saying? So, and just like same thing with a 20 an older dude talking to a 20-year-old girl, there are going to be certain things that 20-year-old girl she's like, you just have to understand that that's just what comes with the territory. Or you can't be surprised.
I have a similar like situation to her. So I got married fast too. I got married within like 6 to 7 months to my husband. My husband's 5 years younger than me as well. And I honestly felt like it was where I was in life, but our age gap's a bit different. So I'm 32, my husband's 27. So he's at a position in his life and he always made it clear to me exactly what he wanted. Same as you. Very, very clear as to what he wanted, but we definitely led with God and leadership. It was a lot of, I just knew exactly, he was just putting out an aura, he was putting out everything. But even before I met him, very intentional, so intentional.
He was intentional, right? So I guess what I would ask Shawty was the man intentional? Like, it's one thing to get a ring, but that's why I say pay attention to what a man is doing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people get so caught up in, oh, well, they can cheat, she can cheat, he can cheat. And it's like, that's why half of y'all have the issues y'all have in the relationships y'all have, because everybody's so worried about somebody stepping out and cheating on them and getting a sneaky link and all this shit. Right. And so nobody's moving in good faith and nobody's giving, like, you can't be afraid. And so right there, you can't be afraid to settle down with somebody, right? And be like, well, I'm going to hold back this part of myself. I'm going to hold back 20% because I don't want to give 100 because they could cheat on me. So, but you would be upset if that person did that to you and wasn't giving you their all. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if she said, well, I'm holding back 100% of me because you can cheat on me too. You probably feel some type of way if she told you that shit. So then now you got two people that's not giving their all into a situation. And at that point, you're just wasting each other fucking time. So I always tell people, you do the best you can to vet the person you're going to be with. Watch their actions, not just their words. Be intentional. Watch their intentions. And do your part. If you do your part in good faith, it doesn't matter what that person does, because you're not doing all that to please that person. You're doing it because you want to do it, because that's what you want to do. Because if you like, well, I want to be a good wife to my husband, but you're not doing it for yourself because you want to be a good wife, then resentment start growing. Then unrealistic expectations start growing. All that, you know what I'm saying? So people got to get away from being so caught up in the fear or what the other person could do. And it's like, y'all worried about the bad shit. And you never really pour into and growing and cultivating a positive culture in your relationship.
And when you were asking, like, what did we write down? Like, or for me personally, I don't know if ladies, you've done this as well, but before I even met my husband, I wrote down everything I wanted in a man and I prayed over it. I went into deep prayer over it. I read my favorite scriptures. I made sure that I was in a space with God, and I wrote down absolutely everything. And not only just the physical, but like the attributes that I needed in him as a husband, a father, and everything. I could read a couple off my list. I have it here. Even actually after I met him, probably like maybe the first month, I read him back everything that I wrote down. And the very first thing I wrote, I want to love a man that loves God and a praying man. I want somebody who's patient. I want a connected chemistry. I want to feel a draw to him, an intensity, desire, a tantric emotional fulfillment without speaking so many words. And I wanted a great sense of humor, open emotionally, mutual interest, great communicator and listener, physical attraction, respectable, honest, respects my faith in God and decisions through it, because a lot of the times the things that we do, sometimes it doesn't even make sense to us. So I needed a husband who's going to understand that. I wanted somebody who was intelligent, that we could talk about real things together, and has a desire to learn not only from his surroundings, but from me as well. And he isn't led by arrogance, but is led by God. I wanted somebody who was strong and masculine, aggressive when it's called for, like in lovemaking, and attention in a way that caters to me and my femininity. I wanted him to take the lead and be the head of our household, but not with a huge inflated ego, but wants to protect me and his family. He values discretion, doesn't make a scene or look for any attention in outlandish ways. He's faithful to God and to me, wants to get married and wants at least one child, likes to travel, outgoing, whatever. Those are like more of the other stuff, but definitely I honed in more on all the things that I wanted in him as a man, which he would have cultivated before he even met me.
See? And that's what I was trying to get to old girl. Like, she was just very broad. Like, I just want a man that's for me. But it's like, what defines
I
for you?
I think she wasn't listening to you,
Now,
bro.
Nah, she was.
They said I'm asking for a lot. Girl, and I got it. Period. My husband is a godsend. And if you write it down and you really, that's the thing. It's like you go in.
But I'm gonna cut you off real quick. But they said you're asking for a lot. But what I'll say is, ladies, when y'all write these lists,
Oh, yeah.
you also have to match that list. As the woman, what do you want? Like, it go back to my conversation the other day when I was like, why do it goes to your table? What are you bringing to match the list that you writing down to receive what you're listing out? Because you can list all those things, and that man could probably be all those things. But if you're not the woman that has the equity to receive that, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna turn in and fuck that man up, and then he gonna turn into the guys that get on here and be like, I fear marriage, I fear relationships, because you wasn't ready. You wasn't ready for the type of man that would even give you those things. And some of y'all women aren't.
It's a fact.
Y'all ain't ready for that type of dude.
I worked on myself though. Like, I really gave my life to God, and I really sat there for like a year and change before I even met him, just really pouring into myself and just really what I needed. And since I've met him, I've started a business, worked on myself, and just the things that he was able to see in me as well. So it's like, but trust me, it doesn't come without its trials and tribulations. Like, I had to learn, how to shut my mouth sometimes, not be so fiery, especially for the amount, like the men that I used to deal with. I wasn't used to somebody really checking me for like my deeper issues. Like, I'm still not used to it. Hell, you know what I mean? And
yeah, and you probably never will. But the fact that you are, number one, the fact that you're aware of that, and you don't let it get in the way of what y'all got going, and have other other people's expectations on y'all's relationship. So the fact that you said, well, he checked me and I still ain't used to that. Or somebody could look at them and be like, girl, what you mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, but it's your relationship with that man, and y'all work in what y'all have and what y'all have.
Exactly. I think that's the problem, is a lot of women don't like to be we don't. Straight up, we don't. We really just feel like,
don't nobody like to be
and
told
so,
what to do.
But it's really for the betterment. Like, I got into another situation on here. We were talking about like just the way that women dress themselves. And I was like, I used to dress a little bit more on the racier side when I didn't have a husband, but it caused me to conform and want to be different. And just,
and you should.
Definitely.
As like, and then ladies, don't, like, as a wife, Why do you feel like you still
Can
got to
I
go to the
add?
club and shake
Can I
ass on top of
add
the
something
table?
before I
Why do you feel
lose
like you still
track
got
of
to
thought
have?
though?
Sorry.
From
Oh
what
yeah,
I
yeah. Go
see though,
ahead, go
from the
ahead, bro.
very beginning, a lot of people don't understand that there's levels to communication. You communicate with this man as your friend, then you communicate with this man as your man. And once you start seeking like a future, you definitely gotta ask about how you feel about marriage. How long do you think you can be a good husband? Because like she said, it is trials and tribulations, but you know, what's prayer without faith? You gotta put the work in though. You just can't leave off one
Mm-hmm.
little skip bump in the road. Like you still gotta continue on that path. Whether you into it with that person or not, you have a title, you have a reason, you got a job now. So it's like you can be a good woman, but what makes you be a good wife? You could be a good partner, but now you're a wife. It's a statute of limitation now. Like the bar is raised. So I really was wondering how was old girl moving forward as far as dating? Because it sounded like it was a few things that she was triggered by during that conversation.
Yeah. To your point, where like you gotta wake up every day because this marriage shit, like people get so caught up in love, 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 and that love shit go away. Them butterflies, that shit go away. That's why I say you gotta pick that person based off of you gotta pick that person and take that person for who they are. I always say you got 80% of someone that you love. They're the most, in that 80%, they're the best person in the world. You love everything about that 80%. But then you get that 20% and you be like, damn. And it's the bad of that person. They might have an attitude. They might pick they fucking, whatever it is, squirt the toothpaste from the middle instead of starting it from the bottom. Whatever it is, those things, that's who they
So
are. And it's not going to
I think
change.
that go back to what I was
That shit's
saying when
not
a
going to
lot
change.
of people so big on profit, they just skip past the investment part. You got to know how to invest to understand profit.
Right. And so with that 20% that is bad, you gotta ask yourself, does can I deal with that? Can I live with that? Can I wake up every day next to that 20% that I hate or don't like about them and be okay? Even when I'm upset and mad at them. Right? And so then that turns into waking up every day once y'all are together and choosing one another every day. Every day I wake up, I have to choose my wife. I have to choose to be faithful. I have to choose to pour into her. I have to choose to be nice. I have to choose these things. It doesn't just happen at all. Just because you married, just because y'all got kids, just because that's your wife or that's your husband, that doesn't mean that shit is just supposed to happen. You have to put effort every fucking day you wake up with that person. You have to choose them, or else that's how you get the women who get bored. That's how you get the men who get bored. Then they go looking elsewhere and make excuses instead of pouring into the person they chose. That's what, or just off top, they get with somebody they don't like. So it's a choice and it's work. A lot of people don't want to put in the
Facts.
work when it comes to somebody. And they think because, well, again, it go back to Shawty, the idea. Well, it's just what I wanted. I just wanted to be married. But she never, like I said, she never
Yeah,
talked
she was
about
so
the
big on the
man.
title.
You know what I'm saying? Right, the title, and I knew I wanted to be married. And I knew I wanted to ring because I seen my mom and dad, and it's like, but did you ever sit? Number one, you shouldn't idolize your
That's what I
parents'
was
relationship
just
because
about
you're
to
not
add
your
in there
mother,
because
and
when
that
she
man
was
is not your
speaking,
father.
it sounded like she loved her father dearly, obviously, but she saw those certain traits that her father had. I mean,
Yeah,
well, her father had, and she saw him in old boy, and she just jumped into it. But when her mother brought up God, she laughed. I didn't like that.
Cause off rip, she like I said when she described. That's why I kept asking like, what do you? Well, he paid the
Yeah.
bills and he helped with my
It was
kid.
just all financial support. It wasn't no
she ain't
mental support. It wasn't no emotional
she ain't
support.
listen.
Like, it's more ways to get the bag. Just because you loyal to me and you not cheating, that don't mean that you loyal to my emotions. That don't mean that you loyal to my health. That don't mean that you loyal to my family and what we really trying to build. You got to stay grounded. And it seemed like her mental was all over the place. And she stayed 10 years thinking her loyalty was going to save the marriage. And it sounded like her problem. And I ain't going to say just women, but when women in the hot seat, they don't like that. They don't like that at all. Because a lot of
Nah.
men know how to lead, but from what I see, a lot of men mistreat on how to teach. Every student isn't the same. So just because a man financial aid get approved, that don't mean he gonna be on the dean's list automatically. That don't mean that he gonna pick up on your skills and your traits automatically. You gotta give a man some time to understand what's really going on. But I think that go back to what I mean as far as
Mm-hmm.
communicating, talking, reassurance. Don't just up and think just because I saved this money up when I purchased this ring and just ask the question and I'm just ready for you to just say yeah and it's about to be good. No, it ain't about to rock like that.
And ladies part of communication is also learning how to
Facts.
shut the fuck up and comprehend. It ain't just oh he need to listen to me. Sometimes you gotta
I ain't
shut the
gonna.
fuck up and listen to him.
I'm
Sometimes
curious
you
because
gotta
she
act on
left.
what he
I'm
tell you to
curious
do.
on what her mother thought about the dude she was marrying.
I don't know. She
Yeah,
just said
she
that God
laughed
part, and
about
that was
that.
it. But I'm like, but what? And then I'm like, what did your dad tell you about him? Like, and now my thing is, even if your daddy would have tell you about
Honestly,
him, would you have even
I
listened?
think I
But you
believe her
ain't even listen
father
to our mama.
is a knowledgeable dude, but I think he saw his daughter so happy and just feeling so good, he ain't want to
Mm-hmm.
just trash it
Yeah.
out like that. He ain't want to just do her like that. And the mama just skipped straight to the point and
He
said,
probably
"Did you
ain't.
ask God about it?" That messed it all the way up right there for me.
Hey,
But what's good, Mary?
I was listening to this topic. I don't know the young lady. I heard her vaguely. But I can tell you my first marriage, I wasn't the best, he wasn't the best. We both was trash. And my mom,
Y'all was
now the
doing
thing
shit.
about that is not only because my parents are married, they're still married today. My parents told me not to. And at the time, I was about to have our first kid, and my mom was like, "I know you don't want to be a unwed mother, because I think my mom just was like, I think that's why you want to get married." And she was like, "To the world, it might look bad, but it's okay. We got your back." And I was like, "No, I still like him or whatever, whatnot." So I was like, if it don't work out, I just divorce him. So the divorce came 4 kids later, 14 years later, and we just wasn't good together. We weren't good together. We weren't ready. We were 20 and 21. And so we just weren't good together. Now,
Mm-hmm.
fast forward, I think when we first separated and got divorced, I didn't jump into getting a new guy. I didn't jump into getting a new marriage. Before I met my current husband, it was like a 4 or 5 years break. And one thing about me is I'm kind of stalkery. So when I met my husband, I saw little qualities about him that I liked and how he handled and talked to people and did certain things. So and he's not bad to me, he's not bad on the eyes. And I was like, I'm not gonna bother or pounce on this man. It's been a 4-year drought, and I probably go
go crazy and freak him out. So I just chilled and laid in the cut, kept watching how he interact with people, how he talked, how he did business with me and others. And so I think like when I was about to leave the place I was at, I gave him my phone number. We went on a date. So my husband is about 15 years older than me. So he just turned 60 and I'm like 45. Mm-hmm. And so I always say I got my husband. I was supposed to be his little hot young thing. But last year I ended up having a stroke, and he has been so supportive towards me. He treats me with kid gloves because when you get health crisis, most people leave. So he has been.
Hey, I'm glad you made it out of there. You on
that. When we first started dating, I almost blew it because, like you said, sometimes you gotta learn how to shut up. So I kind of sometimes use profanity. So I was a profanity person, and one time I told him, he said something to me in the conversation, and I said, "Well, you can kiss my butt with profanity in it." So that man, we kept on talking, and so we kept talking. So I never thought anything was wrong in the conversation. So we continued to talk that night. He didn't say anything. He never said nothing about it. He never addressed it with me then. So we hung up the phone. Mm-hmm. And I didn't hear from him for a couple of days. And I was like, okay, well, he might have got upset with what I said, because I always replace conversations. So so I broke and I called him back, and I was like, what happened? And he was like, oh, you was cursing at me. And I was like, what? I was like, because I was like, what did I say? And he said exactly what I said. He's like, you were cursing at me. I don't call you out of your name. I don't use profanity towards you. So for me, that was a deal breaker. And he was like, I had drawn in my mind, it was over with. Our whole relationship was over with. So one thing about him, he's very firm and he's very precise when he moves. So I was like, well, I apologize, because I was like, I didn't see it being that big of a deal. But then I realized he is right. I kind of rethought about all our conversations. He's never used profanity to me in the conversation or playful or stuff like that. And then the one thing I love about my husband to death is that he's always going, if you tell him exactly what hurt your feelings, or you said this and this hurt my feelings, it made me feel a certain way, he will apologize. And he was like, well, I didn't mean it that way.
See, and the fact that y'all can, I think people got to understand. So he was able to bring something up to you that, you know what I'm saying, in a way, offending him, hurt his feelings. You were able to acknowledge that. You apologized and y'all moved forward, and you adjusted your actions moving forward. That's all. That's that right there. That interaction alone will save so many. It's called checking your ego. You know what I'm saying? It's called, because some women would be like you said, you didn't think it was that big of a deal. Like, I just said kiss my ass. You know what I'm saying? But to him, hey, watch how you talk to me. I don't talk to you like that. Please don't talk to me like that. You checked your ego. Like, I mean, I don't think it's a big deal, but if it's a big deal to you, it's a big deal to me now. You know what I'm saying? And y'all, if people could just check their fucking egos, that would probably save a lot of these situations that people even get into. And another thing you talked about was the health situation. That's why I try to tell people, these women and even these dudes that I don't need marriage, I ain't okay. See, that's because people don't think down the line. When you hit 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, and you don't, them looks don't hold up, you done gain weight, and them health problems start coming up. And the fact that you said you had a stroke, was it like in home and your husband was able to get you to the hospital and do those things? He works at night and
he also travels. So he wasn't physically here with me. My kids were here.
but I bet he
Exactly.
dropped
He was
everything
like, y'all,
he
I
could
gotta
to get
go. I
back
gotta
home.
go see what's going on with my wife. And he got me in the hospital in enough time.
So can I add
And you
something
got
about that
situated.
though, real
Yeah.
quick?
Look at
Mm-hmm.
Miss Mary, I got a question about that stroke situation. Did you Was that like a humbling situation for you, personality wise?
It does. Like I said, as I always say, it's joking. I thought I would be the one. I'm 40. He just turned 60 in May. So I'm thinking I'm gonna be the little younger one, the one with the health, the one who holds out and all those kind of things. And he had to really like take care of me. He had to drive me. He and the thing about it I love about my husband is like it's not really like the big money thing. Like he is good on the big money things, but it's like little small things. So I don't even think I was out of the hospital. So he had already bought me like walker, uh cane, and all kinds of little devices.
Oh, he
Yeah,
was
He
so
had
he
he's
was
really
experience. He had
already
organized
in
and he
experience.
thinks ahead. And that's one thing I
Hmm.
like about him. And then like I said, I was married before. So one thing about it was even in the marriage that I was in, I still always play. It's like how a lot of black people do, especially women. Even in marriages, sometimes we might marry a man who's quiet because those are the ones who tend to marry women. So he was a little. He wasn't really. He didn't step forward a lot, and I really didn't give him chances to step forward because I was like, oh, I think that's gonna fail. So, and then I'm gonna use this word. I would like usurp his authority. So when I would do that, instead of like pushing it so he wouldn't fail, I would I wouldn't help him either way it go, and I would make sure he would fail because I just didn't think it was a good idea in the first place. And so, or I always feel like I had to fix it. So I always felt like I was the mannish person in our relationship. So when
So you
I
learn how to be submissive.
yeah, somewhat. Yeah. Plus, my husband now is like 6'4", 300 and some pounds. So I realized one thing about it. I don't stand a chance in I can't out argue him. I can't physically beat him if I wanted to. And he, because he's such big in stature, I know that he humbles himself and is soft for me.
right. So, you got any more questions
No,
for
I'm
us,
actually
Stay?
just listening, honestly. Appreciate it.
So, the health part, what I really wanted to highlight is because a lot of especially our people walk around with this
Mm-hmm.
idea that we gonna be young forever. Part of marriage is a lot of our people hit that dirt alone. They don't have, like, when you see them people, like I get sad when I see older people like 50, like a 60-year-old dude or woman working at McDonald's or standing on the corner begging for change or at the hospital and nobody's there with them, or they gotta call their kids. And like it's nice to think that our children will be there for us, but that's, your kids are gonna have their own lives, and I wouldn't want my children to stop their lives to come take care of me. That's what I got a wife for, and that's what my wife got me for. We supposed to take care of one another. But I think that a lot of people put their equity in their children to be there in they days when their health start declining. You know what I'm saying? And that's an aspect of marriage that people need to think about. And I'm not, and it sounds like, oh, well, so you saying that you just need to get married and have somebody take care of you when you get old? Yes, that's an aspect of it, and that's an important aspect of it, because the way that you imagine you being, you having that health complication, and I mean, either you depending on your kids or you sitting there by yourself, or what if you would have just passed alone in your house and nobody even knew what was going on, until a couple weeks later your kids find you in the bed because they live this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't think about that type of stuff. My partner is a police officer out there in DeKalb in Atlanta, and he see this shit all the time. People literally just passing away, and nobody, they've been stinking in the house, decaying for weeks. Nobody checked on them. Nobody at work called. Nobody gave a damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what people need. Like, people got to think about that type of shit. But I don't think we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, so back to the topic of why people are afraid. Ain't nobody else joining up where everybody at. People, it's crazy how shit. Some of the fellas come up, man. I seen some of the fellas like I got points that I come up, man. For the people that's like, oh, I'm scared to have get married. I'm scared of, one, like, it's just crazy to me how everybody's so scared of marriage, right? Black people so scared of marriage, but ain't nobody scared to have these motherfucking kids.
Saying that to somebody, it's like,
Why?
it's so normalized to have kids in this day and age, but no one wants to get married. Mind you, I was on that boat too. For a minute, I was like, when I first met my husband, I was like, I'm not trying to get married. Like, I'm good. I was even saying that we could have like what our generation calls a commitment ceremony. Y'all ever heard about those?
Yeah.
And I was like, we could do it without the paper. I don't want the paper. I don't want the logistics, blah, blah, blah. And then as time went on, it's just like, what are we doing? No, that's not the right way. Like, that's not it.
Just doing shit. And it's like, why don't nobody be scared? I said, my biggest fear when I was young, before I met my wife, my biggest fear was becoming a baby daddy. I was more scared of being a baby daddy than catching a disease, than hitting the dirt. I did not want to be a baby daddy because that shit, seeing a man like my daddy, and he got divorced from my mama. And that man would, after alimony and child support, and then he, my half sister, but just seeing guys that after child support and shit, they don't have nothing. Like, my daddy would have $40 to his name, and it's like, that scared me more than anything else. A woman that I'm not married to having so much control over my life, giving the wrong woman a child that I have to because you are more connected to a woman or a man through a child than you will ever be from a ring. Ever. But people don't think about it like that. They're like, oh, I got a kid. And it's like, kids cost way more money than a divorce will ever cost. Kids cost more money,
right? Because
the
divorce is temporary.
Your wife taking, right? Let's say you got your wife take half, she take a house. That's temporary, bro. You can get another house. You can get your money back up. But them kids ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. And you are forever connected. You could get divorced from a man or woman and go on about your day and never think about them ever again for the rest of your life. But you give them some kids.
I know. I've been trying to get rid of my
and that's the part why
so bad. I'm just happy our last kid is about 17, and even as adults, we still talk to each other about people who 20 and 25 and up.
You will forever have to deal with that person. The birthdays don't stop. The holidays don't. None of that stops. And you're gonna forever be connected and have to. And anytime a decision is made, anytime something happens, you have to call that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just get divorced from a woman or a man, you can forget they ever existed. And that's the part that just blows my mind about for the people that say, "Oh, I'm just so scared of marriage." But you have a child with somebody.
Yo, Benny, man. Thank you for letting me join, man. But I agree with you what you just said, man. One thing I pray for, I'm 40 years old. One thing I pray for is having a child with the wrong woman. Because like you said, man, you got to deal with that person forever. You know what I'm saying? But a divorce, you just done. But man, I'm not scared of marriage, but having a child with the wrong person, man, that scares the nothing out of me, bro. I'm trying to tell you, man.
That should scare a man more. And it go back to what I'm saying, bro. Like a lot of these dudes are like, oh man, she could cheat on me. She could just wake up but you'll give these same women kids. You'll give those same women you so scared of children. And then that's what usually leads to these guys complaining about child support and can't see their kids and manipulating with the kids. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. They put so much effort in convincing themselves not to do it that.
All right. All right, I'm gonna keep running.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Man. This is a serious conversation, man. Some dude think it's a flex to have a baby with like a fine woman or whatever, right? I mean, like back in the day, now they used to be like, "Yo, she about to have my kid or whatever, right? Cause she fine or whatnot." But on the other side of it, man, it's like, man, yo, you got to deal with her, and she can do whatever, man. She can use the kids, put them against you, and all that stuff. Just because she fine don't mean nothing, man. You gonna have like cute kids or whatever, man. Like, but they use it as a manipulation. But dudes they be like, yo, she fine. I'm gonna make her have my baby or whatever, thinking like they can control her or whatever. But it's not like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, man, a lot of my homeboys, they be like, yo, I should have never had a kid with her. I'm like, man, just because she fine, yo, don't make her the right one. Like, for real.
Hell no.
Talk about it though, because a lot of men will definitely try to trap women, especially if they see the potential in the woman with kids, thinking that that's a flex or thinking that to keep her, that's the way to do it. Which, I mean, in turn, it kind of, you're always linked together, but it's just like you guys don't understand the lasting effects, not to really y'all, but to y'all kids, which is more important, I feel like, than anything.
Very true statement. Very true.
So I don't like the term trap somebody. You can't trap somebody when we start talking about having kids, unless it's unconsensual, that you can't trap nobody. Like, that woman has to accept that child, and that like dudes like, oh, she trapped me. How, bro?
And you want to know why I concur? Because if you don't have a job and somebody not gonna pay for a smishmortion, and that person tells you I'm not paying for a smishmortion, so you have to have that child. Because that's what happened to me with my first son. He was not going to do that. He made it quite clear he wasn't doing that.
So he told you he was gonna give you, like, he's gonna be there for the kids,
Yeah,
and
pretty
then
much.
he lied.
But I wasn't his first, so I wasn't the first girl he did that to. So that is kind of trapping somebody. No, I found out afterwards. I didn't find out about the other girl and everything till afterwards. So yeah, it's possible you can do that to somebody, because he made it quite clear. After I was like 6 months, he told me, he said, "Oh yeah, I planned to get you because I knew your parents don't believe in smishmortions, and I knew you was a good girl, and you green because you from the country, so you don't know no better about city boys."
See what I'm saying? That's what they do. That's what them dudes do. I'm trying to tell you, they do it all the time, man.
But don't get it twisted, Lex. I love my son. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. Right. I love my son.
Right. But that's what some of these dudes do, man. For real, man.
That's crazy.
Real talk. Yeah.
That's crazy. So, I mean, I guess I stand corrected, but I'll say I'll say that that's the minority. That's not the majority of these women walking around with kids. I don't see how So I say this a lot. Were there qualities in that dude that let you know,
No,
like, he
because in the
wasn't gonna be
beginning
shit?
he was nice. He was basically everything that I thought. And I hate to say it, Benny, but this is my first.
But that was back when you was
No.
being
This
a
is when I moved
Pokisha and
down
putting
here. I was
hands on people.
putting hands on them in Alabama. This is when I moved to Florida. Nah, I was sweet when I was in Florida because I didn't know anybody and I didn't know any better, of course. And then this was my first encounter with a real black man. So, mind you, remember I told you my first boyfriend was YT. So this was my first encounter with a black man, an actual black man. And he did everything like, what I was used to and everything like that. He was so nice and everything. I thought he was going to be the man I was going to marry. And then when I told him he was like, oh, it's okay. It's great. Don't worry. And I'm like, don't worry. Like my mom, I can't live in my mom's house. My mom would kill me, this, that, and the third, everything. Like I was panicking. And he told me I could come live with him.
So I say this
Yeah.
because you say your parents were very traditional, right? So that goes to my point though. Like if somebody if we are walking out and having it's cliche, but that's the reason that you should get married before you have children.
No,
Because that would have
he
gave that
tricked
man
me.
incentive
He
to
told me
stay.
he was gonna marry me. He said, "Oh yeah, we gonna get married." Yeah,
But that's what I'm
see,
saying. But that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't have
see,
got
I
pregnant
believed
until
him.
you got that ring.
I thought he loved me and everything like that. I'm not gonna say it was like all him by himself because I had to end up believing it, right?
And that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I don't think people get trapped because
Yeah,
at the end of the day, you knew better
yeah,
because your parents taught you better. But you did the opposite of that because you wanted to be and do these
exactly.
things
And
with
then
that
he
man.
told me when I was 6 months, he literally told me, he said, "Oh yeah, I got you pregnant on purpose," and I was like, "What?"
That's cold, man.
I
That's
was like, "Are you
cold.
serious?" And when you're 6 months, you can't do nothing. You stuck.
Yeah.
So
That's
he told
cold.
me. He said, "Oh, I got you pregnant on purpose." And then when he found out I was having a boy, he was over the moon because I'm the first one to give him a son. But he didn't even stay, and it's cool because my husband now is a great father to him.
Say word. Say word.
Well, you married now.
Congratulations. That's what's up. Yeah, man.
What's good, Jessica girl?
Hello.
What's good?
Thank you for having me up. Thank you. So I wanted to respond to the topic, but more importantly, what the woman that was speaking, because I do think that I get a lot of like women hate my content, but they hate it because I think that we always hear these stories, and I'm glad that like you said, you're married, and having a man come in and help raise your child is amazing, which is not always the case for most women. But I think that I talk about this stuff so heavily because I wasn't raised to be a wife, right? I didn't come from a 2-parent household. I knew that I wanted to be a wife. I didn't believe it was as real. I didn't see it as realistic, but it was like a dream, shall I say, right? Because no one around me was married, and again, it just wasn't realistic. But hearing just that story, right, of just like he'll tell me he loves me, and he'll tell me, because we know that that's the case. And I think that that's why I go so hard on talking what I'm talking about, because we as women, and this is not directed to the woman who's speaking, but in general, we don't realize that we play a role, right? So a man can only do what we allow. And if we don't require something before we give our bodies to these men, they will do whatever they can. And everyone's talking about the Dr. Cheyenne Bryant interview with Nick Cannon and how he talked about how he can morph himself into anybody a woman wants him to be. I'll make myself whoever she wants me to be. If she wants me to be the compassionate, loving, care, I can make myself be that to get what I want. And I think that we don't realize that is what happens, that too often when it comes to marriage and it comes to the fear of it, we just think it's no big deal. And I think even a woman who said that earlier about like how we can just make it's just a piece of paper. I think even that rhetoric is just programming. It's just something that you just constantly hear and you just run with it. So you don't even know why you're talking like that. Why are you even saying this as a piece of paper? And most people can't even answer the question. I don't even know. Someone else said it. So that's what I'm saying. Right. So I think when we get into the why are we afraid and women not thinking all men are bad and black men don't want to be married, I think for me it's a lot of it's like monkey see, monkey do. I'm afraid because she said I should be afraid. I'm afraid because she was afraid. No one really has a real answer as to why they're afraid. I also think a lot of women are afraid as well to this also because they are too selfish and they're afraid that they're going to have to do the work, right? They haven't done any work. They haven't had to work hard. So a lot of women are so afraid that I'm going to have to do what? I gotta do what? Like that's that fear of having to think about somebody else other than myself. And I'm going to have to hold myself accountable and say that I was wrong. Like all those things that require you to work it out in a marriage. So I think when we think about what the majority is and the minority, there are a lot of people, shall I say, but I'm speaking about women. There are a lot of women who are afraid of marriage. And I promise you, they can't even give you a legit reason why they're afraid of it. They can't even answer they don't even know. They have no idea why they're afraid. Exactly. That's the same. It's the same, brother. You can cheat on me. Ain't no good. They see the same. It's like it's like a broken record. Just the same. Or again, these men lie. These men can deceive us. Which again, that is true. But I just believe that that's not the majority. Even like that story. That's the majority of men are not out here telling women they're going to marry them. They're going to know. We tell ourselves that he's going to marry me. He ain't never told you he's going to marry you in your life. He ain't never said it. That's what we tell ourselves.
I think, can I say something? Yeah. On the lines of what you're saying, I think a lot of people say they are afraid of marriage too, simply because they don't fear being rejected.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that a lot of people don't think they're good enough for marriage, or don't want to say, I'm gonna say it like this: they be afraid to say what they want. Of course, if I'm dating you, I want to marry you, or I think you're good enough to date. I think I might want to marry you. So, like with me, one of the things, even with any relationship I get in, I tell people automatically, I don't date people if I'm not trying to marry you. Because I'm not coming to be your lifelong girlfriend. I ain't coming to be your roommate. I want you to change my name. This is what I expect. This is what I want. And a lot of people, they don't want to have to back up those actions. You don't put it out there, then you won't have to. If he say, well, I'm not doing this, or I don't want to do that, then to have to walk away. A lot of people don't want to have to walk away and look crazy. And
and that's why I don't believe in the whole "I got trapped" conversation from the man side or the female side, because at the end of the day, there's a thing like if because again, I go back to myself. Didn't want to be a baby daddy, so I did not deal with women unprotected. Period. I didn't do it. I didn't give a fuck how fine she was, how good I thought it was gonna feel if I took it off. Women would get upset with me because they wanted to have children with me because, oh, you got pretty hair. And women would want to have children with me. And I said, I don't care how fine you was. I didn't care what you was saying. I didn't care what you was talking. I didn't care about none of that. I'm going to put this skin on and we're going to do the do. Everybody, oh, so you think I got something? You think I'm like that? I didn't give a fuck. You deal with me. Word. You put this shit on. We keep it moving. Yeah. And I move like that, period.
And a lot of women don't do that either. Like I was like that too before I got married too. It's like, yo, if we about to do this, and I know women are scared because you're scared to look fast or something. First of all, you shouldn't even be messing around with that many people for you to feel like you looking fast.
Right.
Yeah, these women be wanting to hunch raw just as bad if not worse than these men.
Can I say something real quick, man?
I would have women get upset with upset with me because I will pull something out and be like, all right, let's go. And they be like, nah, what you think? Really? I'm allergic to latex. Well, I'm allergic to sex, so bye. Have a good day.
You stupid,
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it was. But I was not gonna be a baby daddy. So that's why I'm saying you can't get trapped if you put the wall up. If you provide yourself the protection against that entrapment, so you can't get trapped. So I required marriage before I had children as a man. So as a woman, if you require marriage, the bare minimum is marriage. That's the bare minimum. So that should be a requirement. Like I said, it sounds cliche, but it gives someone incentive, because even like at the end of the day, if he would have had to put a lot more to leave if you had
I'm glad I
married,
didn't
if he was
marry him
married to
though.
you and gave you
Shit.
that baby. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But it would have gave him a lot more incentive or a lot, you know what I'm saying? Than to just be like, hey, yeah, I tricked you because I was just wanting a baby by you. If you would have been like, no, you gonna put that rubber on, and if you don't want to, you can put this ring on this finger. So which one you want to put on? But that would have weeded him out, because that would have required some dedication and commitment. And that would have ultimately weeded that man out, and you would have saw him for what he was.
All right, I want to
go
mad
ahead,
respect to Just a Girl and Mary, because they touched on something that I think is like real important, right? Some people don't they scared to do the work in a marriage or whatever, like when they get married or just starting that relationship. Like Mary said, I'm the same way. I date women with the view of marriage as the end goal. So when it happens or whatever, right? It's joy in putting in that work. That's what people don't understand. The arguments, you're gonna have your disagreements, work that shit out, talk it out. It's joy in that. So when it's over, man, the relationship is stronger, the marriage is tight, man. Ain't nobody gonna come in and mess what y'all got up. Y'all set y'all boundaries. It's joy in that and doing that work. That's what people don't understand, man. It's crazy. Be on TikTok seeing all this stuff. And I'm like, yo, y'all just don't want to put in work. Y'all just out here running y'all mouth and say y'all want this and that and the third. Anything you want, you got to put in that work.
That's why I talk the way I talk about. Like, I speak to the fellas. Like, it's a lot of women in the panel. I wanted the fellas to come up, because I hear a lot of that rhetoric from these men. There's no incentive in marriage for men. Yes, the fuck it is.
It's joy. So much joy in it, man.
There is positive. There's incentive for men to get married. There's incentive for men. There's positives in it. Y'all just like y'all point the finger at the women. Y'all don't know how to pick these women either.
True statement, man.
They don't understand how to even pick a wife. If the perfect, and a lot of these dudes ain't even ready to be a husband. If the perfect woman walked into their face and said, "I'm here," they wouldn't know what to do with her.
Man, even on these posts and stuff, people be posting, she got to be fine, all this stuff, man. I'm on that 50 Cent where he said, you ain't got to look like a model for me to adore you. All you got to do is love me and be loyal, man. Yo, if she's attracted to me, she willing to do that work, and we can work everything out together, man. She got me. All these people out here, they scared to do the work, man.
Yeah.
That's what they afraid of. It's not afraid of marriage. They scared to put in that work.
Bro, it is exhausting to be in them streets. Like I said, I wanted to talk to the fellas. It was exhausting to be in the streets, running through women, dealing with women every day. Bro, it's exhausting mentally and on your pockets.
Yes, sir.
It costs money today. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like if you dating right, you know what I'm saying. But like, it was for guys to be like, man, it's more peaceful to be single. And like, if you just out here single by yourself, sure. But bro, if you dealing with bro, I used to have a fucking roster. That shit was far more exhausting, far more tiring dealing with 10, 15 women at a time versus dealing with my wife now and my kids. I was moving, doing my thing, but it was so exhausting having to deal with all these different attitudes, all these different people wanting my attention. Everybody want my time.
I see how some
that
dudes
shit was
do it,
exhausting.
Because I couldn't do it, man. It was too much, man. I mean, I did my little thing back in the day, but it's crazy.
I'm not saying everybody. I'm not saying everybody, because Not saying everybody quote unquote wants marriage, but I say most people do.
Yeah.
And I say most people
like
fucking
one post
need
she
it.
did, man. I had like that post with a dude. He proposed to his like baby mama after years, and he was like, "Man, go back home, work that shit out." A lot of people don't want to put in that work. I like that post, man, because after all that time and they had kids together and all these years, you might as well get married and work that shit out instead of be out here playing around, man. Come on, take your ass back home. Excuse my language, but yo, go back home, man. Work it out, man, for real.
A lot of people do need to go back to some of these people they made babies with.
Like, for real.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But you got a man. Hush. I'm talking about for some of these women out here and dudes out here running around terrorizing everybody, and they need to go back to their baby mama and baby daddy. That's true, what some people need to do.
Yep.
But I mean, I said I be wanting to speak. I be trying to speak to the fellas because ultimately at the end of the day, we the ones that got to set the tone for this shit. And I be trying to help dudes find like fix their mentality when they start choosing these women, because I honestly I think there's a lot of men who want to be married. There's a lot of women that want to be married, but there's a disconnect because people don't want to go and watch content like what Just a Girl puts out there. There's people who don't want to hear people like myself get on here, or John and other married people promote marriage and tell people, because they want to hear the married women get on here and post those videos. Oh, my husband sits on the couch all day and I have to do it. They want to see shit like that because that reinforces their negative thoughts about why they don't want to get married. You know what I'm saying? But they're not going to see, like when I see those videos or those women, they're like, oh, I'm a single married woman. No, the fuck you're not. How about you tell us what really is going on in that household? Because if you really was tired of washing the dishes, and if he really wasn't helping you at all, you wouldn't be on TikTok
so making get these views and all that. It's so much people feeding to the negative more than the positive. It's like you put a positive in it. Like you was on another post you did with you and your wife. You talking to your wife. You know how much negativity you got because of that? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo.
Yeah. And it's crazy. And before that, they was like, oh, well, we want to hear your wife talk. But then when they heard her talking, it didn't align with what they wanted to hear.
God,
now,
man,
she'll pick me. Oh, she
come on. You heard it from her own mouth, what she said, yo. It kind of pissed me off a little bit because don't talk about the family like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm big on that. Don't talk about his wife, don't talk about his kids, but it's like they feed into that negative so much more than the positive, man. But that's just the way it is on social media, man. You put out a negative post, it's like you're a superstar. Put out something positive, you the enemy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
That shit don't bother me because I mean, shit. You see what my wife living in. You see what she riding in. I don't give a damn. Have them. My lady is well taken care of. Bills paid, riding big. We just went and bought a damn $6,000 couch.
That's what they hate to see, though. They hate to see another woman succeeding in the place that they feel like they rightfully should be.
Right.
That's really the tea.
She literally woke up today and said, and was like, hey, you want to go? They got Labor Day sale. You want to go look? And I already knew what time it was. We don't never just go look. That's how she got that fucking truck out there. Just go look. You should just go look.
Benny, you went the errands for that couch. 6K. You woke up, you went the errands.
Shit, I wouldn't goddamn to rooms to go. Shit, they had a Labor Day sale.
She got you, dog. She got you. She got you.
She got you. Most of the trips out of seas wake up. That started my wife saying, I feel like I want to go somewhere. And I'm like, no, we don't need to go nowhere. But we end up going somewhere. So we'll get you, bro.
Right. We just gonna look.
That's true. That's definitely true, man. So, brother, man, I like your content, man. I be cracking up, bro. I be cracking up, bro. So I like your content, man. Oh, you remind me when I started out, when I first started out, man. But you're doing good shit, man. And this is a good topic. Like, why are we afraid of marriage? To be honest with you, I think social media has made people aware it's really afraid of marriage, bro. Because you got to think about it. Like, and I've had this conversation, unfortunately, to all the wrinkles in my brain have smoothed out. That the squeaky wheel is always going to get the oil. So when you come online and you're going to find exactly what it is you're looking for. You know what I mean? Like if you had a bad day with your boyfriend or girlfriend, or you got a problem with your baby mama, baby daddy, or whatever it is, you have already curated your algorithm to show you and to reinforce what you already thought in your mind. So because bruh,
The algorithm be spying on your conversations, y'all. How you think they
listen, I'm
know
telling
that
you,
you
I
buy
hope you
Chick-fil-A?
don't be looking at my history because I'd be in some problems. Like, but but no, it's just crazy. So you sit here, and because people that are in happy, loving marriages, I've been married for 15 years, right? And appreciate you. Never do it again though. This is the last one I told her. It's like, is it you a butt? But a lot of because of the fact that the people that are happy, loving relationships are literally just living that. You know what I mean? They don't feel the need to come online and tell people that, oh, this is what my partner is doing, or whatever it is, or advocate for it because we're living it. And we also know that when we do that, people have a negative response. So when I used to post videos of me and my wife, I took all pictures of videos about my wife off of the internet, as well as of my children off of the internet, because people are weird and miserable. If they see my wife do something nice for me, it's why you doing that for him. You know what I'm saying? So just people are miserable, bro. And you gotta understand. I just had to realize, like when I hit like 300K, and I had to switch up my context. I realized that like I come on this app sometimes every day and battle with miserable people, and it's taking a toll on me.
Yes. I say all the time, bro, there's a lot of people out here that just suck at life. and they just miserable. And I had to do the same thing. Because girls start getting on, like, they didn't like my take about something. Now they talking about my daughter. She bald head, she this shit. I'm like, what? Then, you know what I'm saying? That's why apparently, they think I got a white wife because I don't post my wife. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why is because people are weird. But you know what they want to see? They would have been cool if you was just posting content, taking your wife over, on trips and letting her go to the store and buy bags and buying a car and just doing, stuff like that. But like you said, the minute show her treating you nicely, valuing you, and doing things for you, is like, what you mean? Why you doing that for him?
I'll say this, and I'll mute. Let me tell you the linchpin that happened that made me do it, bro. I posted a comment on someone's page, like video, and it was innocuous. It wasn't nothing crazy. It was just like a joke, or whatever. It wasn't anything crazy, and it was my mutual. Somebody screenshotted that, right? Broke it up, found my wife on Instagram because it was linked, right? Sent it to her in her DMs randomly, be like, is this what your husband said? Whatever it is. My wife read it in the context of how I say things, and she was like, what is this? My wife said, listen, if you don't stop these goofy bitches from coming at me, you got to get off TikTok. Period. You either divest everything from me from this app, or you got to get off the app. So I was like, all right, babe, I respect your privacy. So I delete everything of it, man. So yeah, just people weird, bro.
It's the funny thing is, my wife she be on my TikTok, she be on my live, and don't nobody know who the fuck she is. Cause I don't post her. She got a profile with no picture. So I mean, it's just people are weird, man. They don't want to see. They don't want it. I said they don't want to see. They talk about so negative about marriage, especially black marriage, and men this and black women that. But y'all don't want to see the people that's out here doing living, loving relationships and marriages. They don't want to see that. They don't. And then when people show it, they're gonna nitpick, and they're gonna find, unless you like the YouTube couple or the social media couple that only post the positives, and y'all spending money and going on trips, they don't give a fuck.
Precise. That's why there's so many
They
50-50
don't.
conversations and what you're gonna take from your spouse and all this stuff. I'm like, but I will say this, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I will say this. I have realized that majority of these conversations that are negative are generally had by single people who are co-opting the negative experiences of other people. They're not even experiences that they themselves have had. They just have a friend or a homeboy or a girlfriend, and they're like, "Oh, you had a fucked up situation? Then that means that's going to happen to me." Not understanding that there can be there is a amazing chance that your friend is an idiot. Like, how about that?
Man, and not even they probably don't even have a personal like relationship they can point to. Bro, these people have these mentalities based off of something, a random tweet on Twitter, a random video on TikTok of they seen, oh, the girl, the video that went viral a couple months ago where the woman walks in the house and her husband chilling in the side girl's house with her family, and she slapped them and walked out the house. And I'm like, they'll look at something like that and be like, yeah, because men are dogs. Men ain't shit. And it's like, well, do you have those experiences? Well, no, but I'm just
They
saying.
even got to get that bad, Benny. You know how they
That's
lost their
problem.
mind when that woman said that she came in, took her shoes off from work, and started cooking.
Man. Well, I made a video about that, and I'm like, y'all mad at a woman? Cause it's like, well, why he can't cook, and how you pay bills just like him, and she said, cause I like to even cook know that for my husband.
Yeah,
and she was like, cause I get home first, and I like to cook. And so she was like, so I'm supposed to sit there hungry until he get home?
Whoever comes home first cooks.
They don't. Right, and that's what I'm saying, bro. It's people base their opinions on this shit by what they see on TikTok or social media, and not understand. Like, bro, if my wife is out and I've been at the house all day, she out running errands with the kids or something, she be like, she go, and mind you, my wife can't cook. I'm the primary cook in the house, and she'll be like, "You hungry?" I'm like, "Yeah, I ain't ate today." Oh, well, what you want? You know what I'm saying? If Or she'd be like, hey, you feel like cooking? You want to cook? Sure. What you need? Send me the list. She'll pick it up. I fucking cook. When I cook, she'd be like, oh, well, let me wash the dishes. I don't like to fucking fold clothes, but I'll wash them. Hey, can you put the clothes in the washer? And when I get home, because I leave early in the morning, I go ahead, throw them in the washing machine. She get home before me. They're sitting in the dryer, ready to go. She pull them out and fold them. Like, that's how most people do things. So it's not 50-50, 70, like niggas just making shit work because shit got to get done. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just crazy. But you got people who aren't in these functioning relationships, and they get on here and they're the loudest.
My husband ain't gonna cook. He ain't gonna wash a dish. He ain't gonna cook, and we all right with that. Cause he'll let me know if you had a hard day at work, kind of like you and your wife. He'll ask me, well, do you feel like cooking? But he's gonna ask me like a day or two in advance, or what you want to eat, or do you mind cooking that for me, or something like that. So it's not like he's not on social media, period. But we talk about little topics that come up, and I'm like, are people just so sad and miserable? And then I think a lot of times people get into situations and then they have to live the consequences of those situations. Then they make it like, oh, I don't want nothing to do with none of this. They don't want the kids. They don't want the marriage. They don't want none of it.
Because that's like, because people get into these situations with the idea of what they think a wife or a husband is supposed to be. Again, my wife can't cook. That's like, I didn't get with her thinking like, well, in my head, a wife's supposed to cook. So I'm going to get with this woman that can't cook, and I'm going to teach her, and she going to learn how to cook. And then when she doesn't do that, now I'm upset, and I'm like, what you mean you can't? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what people be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if my idea of a wife is she's supposed to cook and clean, instead of taking her for the woman she is, she can't cook, but guess what she will do? She'll go pick some food up for me. She gonna make sure I'm fed. It might come from Panda Express, but I'm fed. You know what I'm saying? She might, she be like, hey, like she know, like when I meal prep, when I'm in the mode to, start cutting or bulking for the gym or whatever, whenever that happens, if I don't like, sometimes work start to pick, I don't feel like, hey, you want me to call a meal prep service, put in some meal prep so you ain't gotta cook your meals or what? Like, it's called giving a fuck about the person and providing solutions.
That's so major because I honestly, the other day, me and my husband kind of got into it because I got a flat tire and I was like, okay, so like, what are we going to do? Like, I'm thinking about all of the different options. She's like, we're going to call AAA or whatever. And I was like, nah, like we can figure this out. Like, come on, like we can do this. And like, nah, listening to what he was trying to tell me and trying to combat the whole entire thing and only to end up screwing everything up and only having to call them in the end altogether. But I'm thinking like, this is something that we could do. This is something you could do. And it's like, he's still providing me a solution. And sometimes us ladies, we don't like to take that as the be all end all. We're just like, nah, you can do this. Or we, I think it was maybe Mary. I think you were saying that your husband before you kind of told him like, you weren't able to, you would shut, I don't know if that was you. Sorry if it wasn't.
It was me.
That like, he would give you things that he was thinking about doing and you kind of shut it down and to kind of like combat it. And it's just like, I feel like sometimes we do that without knowingly knowing exactly what we're doing, when really the person is still trying to give you all types of solutions, women too. And just like you said, your wife will provide for you in ways, if she can't cook, that's okay. As long as she's providing for you in a way that it still is a solution-based thing. But someone will be like, oh, well, he can't build me a house, so you know what? He ain't the man for me. And it's like, no, he could pay to get you somebody to build the house for you. And that's just as, important.
Because her idea, like women who would get upset at what you just described, well, a man, what you mean that your husband can't change no tire? Like a real man should be able to change the tire, or a man could just call AAA, which is something that we actually pay for. So why the fuck am I gonna get on the side of the road and risk my life in the heat to try to change the tire that I'm already paying somebody to come out here and do? And it's like, but well, what you mean? But as a man, you supposed to be out there to change the tire. And it's like, Sure. But it's like, why?
Expectations.
Don't have
Exactly, right. And paid it, he did. And that's the thing. I was like, no, babe, I'll save us money. Da, 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 da. Only for me to be covered in damn grease, cussing up the place. He surely did. He stood there. I got frustrated. I was angry. I was like, no, this is not okay. Da, 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 da. And guess what? He was right.
Listen, my son, we're going to a wedding, and my son needed a suit because he's in a wedding, and I was like, my wife was going to buy it online. I was like, babe, you don't buy a suit online, baby. Like, you gotta go try the suit on. He's only 7. No. He's only 8. I was like, all right, cool. That suit came. He had to pull his damn shoes up. Like it was so short there. So like I understand. I think but the thing that I think irritates me a little bit about it is the fact that it's just like, when we had the conversation about like the archaic perspective of roles of men in terms of like, she would have built me a house, right? And all of those things. But we've moved along from that modern wise, right? Because let's be clear, my wife ain't cooking 3-course meals that with some banana pudding and some peach pie every day. You know what I mean? So like, we just got to be congruent in the level of expectations.
And my parents have been married, let's see, about 40, 45, 46 years now. And they ain't never had pretty much, well, they kind of had traditional roles in the beginning. My mother was always a housewife, so I was about 11th grade. But when my dad got sick or whatever happened, she stepped up, got degrees, went to school, started managing money. So he ended up being a housewife. She was the homemaker. So it's just, that's what people need to know about marriage. And I always look at, I know people don't like to quote the Bible, but I always look at where it says capable wife sons. And I always think about, you supposed to be able to manage your own personal life. And then you can get somebody else, and then y'all can help each other, and you feed off each other. It's a back and forth. Sometimes we do this, sometimes we do that. And if you can be flexible and just push and pull, and you'll have a great marriage. But I know a lot of people are afraid of marriage because a lot of people, parents or mom or dad isn't married. and they don't really vet. If you around a bunch of people who don't value marriage, then that can give you a bad idea about it. I know there's a lot of people cheat out here, and cheating is pretty bad, but it don't have to be the end all be all for your marriage. And
So, to your point about the people not having parents that are married, I mean, people see, so a lot, like we all get on here. A lot of people get on here and they talk about their childhood trauma and their issues with their parents, but that didn't stop them from going to have kids of their own. So if you saw your parents split or have, you didn't have direction as far as building a marriage and a relationship, you can still go do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it always comes back to the kid thing for me, because nobody teaches us how, like, and especially in our community, single motherhood, broken homes, like, we grow up seeing dysfunction. Like, a lot of us, not me, but a lot of us grow up seeing dysfunction as far as upbringing and childbearing and family planning, but nobody looks at that and say, you know what? I didn't get taught how to be a mom or how to be a dad, so I'm fearful of having children. Some people do, but a lot of us don't. You know what I'm saying, like that. So for people that'll be like, well, I didn't grow up seeing a happy, my mom was a single mother, and that's why I don't want to get married. Like, that's a cop out, because we don't get none. Our parents didn't go to college. I know mine didn't. They ain't had no degrees. That ain't stopped nobody. That ain't stopped all these women out here from going to school, earning 3, 4, 5 degrees. When we start talking about men and trying to be a wife or whatever, now I ain't have a good example. But you figured out how to go to college and take out student loans and study and do all those things.
I don't necessarily think it's a fear of mine. I just don't think I'm marriage material. Like,
and you can admit that, though. A lot of people. Well, I want a husband, I want a wife, and don't admit that they just. If the perfect man or woman walked up, they wouldn't know what to fucking do with.
Let me just say this: for me, I think I'm a very, very hard. I don't want to say I'm hard, because I've been told I'm very easy to deal with. Like, I'm very easy, but it's like it's skeptical. That's kind of like how some of the things that I've kind of been told, which is one of the reasons why I felt like, well, I don't believe that I was compatible with the men that I have dated in my past. I don't really have negative things, like bad things to say, but, to say that you're not compatible with someone that you dated, some people might say that it's negative, but I don't want to live with anybody. And my parents are married. I came up, my parents are married, so I come from a nuclear family. My parents were very good to me. And my father always, both my parents, but my father would always tell me and my sisters, I ain't worked this hard for you to get out here and just let some dude just straight drag y'all. Like, I put you in a position where you can choose. You ain't got to accept the first offer. You don't have to accept anything, from any dude. And the things that I have ran into, not necessarily dating, but like I said, a lot of men ain't cool with the fact that I don't want to live with them. You kind of see what I'm saying? I have multiple homes that my parents have given his children. Like, they buy property, they fix up homes. We have trust funds. We have access to those things. And the thing is, they had us, they took care of us. They did right by us. Another thing, I don't have children. So I think being a parent, I think that's a privilege. And I found that I enjoy children a lot. I have 9 nieces and nephews. So I spend a lot of time with them, and I do activities with them. And I felt that my calling was to help people and to support, be a part of the community, as far as like helping my friends, with their kids, spending time with them, spending time with my nieces and nephews and stuff like that.
Real quick, Real quick, Nick, when you say you don't want to live with them, you mean like you don't want to
Yeah,
live with your
okay,
husband?
I have this.
You want to live? You
Okay,
want to live in
let's
separate
just, here's the
houses
thing.
from your
Okay,
husband?
so I'm gonna set it up for you. This I'm gonna tell it to you the way I've told it to guys, right? I'll say, so y'all can read me, because I be getting read, but I'm okay with a bridge house, right? So, or we could live in the same. I don't want your life to change any more than you need to consider me. Like, if you say you're gonna be loyal and you say we're in a relationship, I don't want you to feel trapped by me. You can live your life. Like, if you want to hang out with your homeboys till 4 o'clock in the morning, okay. I don't really care. I'm not about to manage someone. If you say you loyal, I'm gonna take your word for it because I've already went through the vetting process. As you have said before, I'm gonna do my part. I do not do reruns. I don't accept cheating at all. And I'm not gonna take any form of disrespect. I don't curse at dudes that I've ever been in relationships with. I don't yell. I cook. I meal prep. And on top of that too, I go to the gym. I do what I'm supposed to do. And if I wanted to be married, I could be married. I could do all of that. But the thing is, there are just certain things that I would have to have in order to be able to move forward. And I understand it. Look, finding someone that works with that is not a guarantee in this life. But I'm not about to force a square into a circle. I'm not going to force someone to take just so I wouldn't be by myself because I'm okay with being to myself. I've been celibate for years and I haven't been in a relationship for years. And this is the happiest I've been.
So, I still. So,
Oh,
when you say
okay.
bridge
You may
house,
have
what
not
that
heard of
mean?
it, but they have it's basically you own like two acres, and one house be there, another house be on the other one, and then it's a bridge, and you can. I mean, I don't have
Oh,
anything to
okay.
hide. You can come over when you want to, but I do feel like I don't want nobody to feel like they have to deal with me every day just because we're married. Like, if you want to be to yourself, if you want to have time to yourself, and you don't want to have to entertain me, or whatever, that's fine. I just don't want I want to feel free in my relationship. And that's not to say I want to do anything like that would be disloyal. It's just the stuff that like some guys been blown away by that. I'm very predictable. I don't drink, don't smoke, don't go out, don't do too much of anything, and I cook. They can come over whenever they want to, or whatever they could, but it was like, wait, you really do be at the bookstore, you really do be hiking, you really be out there. Like, they would check up on me because they didn't believe me, and
Man, this
trust
shit
is a
sound like
big
a
issue.
setup. This sound like a setup.
See
It's like because like I get like, but then again, I mean, I know you doing you got the money to have a bridge house. I ain't there. I can't do that. That said, like, I mean, like, me and my wife still give each other our space. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I need to go and like she hang out with her friends, I hang out. I do my thing. Like, if I need to, I mean, get away from her, I could go downstairs. Like, so I'm not following the you have a house, I have a house thing. But I do know your financial, like, you've spoken on your financial situation, so I understand that you can do that financially if you want it. But like, what's the issue with being under the same roof in the same vicinity of? Because I also see other women in the comments talking to that too. Like, why do a lot of women have issue with being in the same vicinity
I
and
will
under the
say
same
for
roof as their
me,
partner?
this is something. It's not a trauma, but I believe I had mentioned that I had a cleaning company before. I do not remember. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what triggered it. My dad isn't the cleanest person, so we all collectively had to clean up after him, and that was fine. But what ended up happening was, when I owned my cleaning company and I would go in people's homes, it was a lot of married homes, and it was just a lot of homes, particularly married. Them people live so filthy. I was like, how did two nasty ass people find each other? And I was like, I couldn't do it.
You came.
It caused a
trauma,
trigger where I said, I can't live like this. And I was walking. I was seeing where even like newer couples, for example, this isn't like so much as a deal break. I'm just kind of giving you like insight on some of the stuff that was messing with me. But I would see where people would start off where they would be trying to keep the place clean, or the wife or the husband would kind of mention to me in emails like, I'm only reaching out because I can't do this no more. And I knew I couldn't do it. And the thing is, you can meet someone that has everything and then they be filthy or nasty. And I said, well, hey, I can eliminate that and I can just have my own crib. And he ain't got to live the way I'm very particular about the way that I live, because I'm very, very clean. And so I don't want to be a nag to him. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just don't want to be that.
I mean, if you, it's one thing to be but I guess that goes into what I mean when I say you got to take people for what they are, because like if you're a meticulous, clean person, don't get a filthy person, but you got to understand that you're also like a niche. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can't put your standard of clean on the average person. You know what I'm saying? Because there are people who are very anal. Like, I've watched John Cena, for example. He's a very anal type, particular toothbrush got to be at a certain angle type of person. Like, he's that weird. But if you know that you're that type of person, like, you got to understand that not the average, regular, everyday person isn't like that. You know what I'm saying? So if you like, again, I mean, I can only use myself. I'm a cooker. I'm a great cook. I got to understand that not everybody is a great cook. So it wasn't like I wasn't putting those expectations on the women that I was dating, because I don't need that from them, because I could do that portion myself. So I'm not saying you got to clean up after somebody, but as long as they're not just like disgustingly, I'm gonna leave my dirty dookie drawers on the ground. And you know what I'm saying? Like, if they're a generally clean person and can pick up, then does that have to be?
I don't know, Nick. I'm with
Is
you.
what I'm saying.
I'm with you on that. I'm sorry. I'm with you on that one.
Call me and pick Nisha, because I don't agree. I'm like the host.
I'm with Nick because I don't like no. The kids even got I had to break myself because of the kids.
And I've seen, I mean, like, when you live in Phil, here's the deal. It's already something that's like egregiously. It's more the issue on the men. It's not so much as I'm not trying to compromise, because that was the solution to a degree. You get what I'm saying? Like, I critically think, okay, if I were to meet someone, you get what I'm saying, that I might be open to, that could, I start.
That's kind of extreme, Nick.
Okay, so what about the 2 days, 5 day on then? The 5 days we together and all this stuff, and then 2 days out of the week. It ain't even got to be back to back. You go do your thing, I go do my thing. Cause that's what we got.
I don't think I was here when you had mentioned that. So I didn't know that was even. Here's the thing. I'm open to negotiations because it is a proposal. You feel me? So I'm open to negotiation and collaborating. But the thing is, these are more issues that I find that these men aren't mad at me. It's just, here's the deal. Every man I've ever dated wanted me in the house. They wanted, you know what I'm saying? If they want to give up the kids, the thing is, they wanted to monitor me a lot. Like, they wanted to make sure, like, and I like to work. I like to make my own money. I have goals. I want to do certain things. No, they're like, and that's if you meet the person too. So that's what I'm saying. If you meet someone, because I'm not asking a man to be anything that I'm not. So I feel like the dude should make as much as I make. You know what I mean? If we were to do the marriage thing, because it is a business. Now, I'll date someone that doesn't make as much, but marriage would be off the table unless there's something that can be countered behind that. I don't have children, so I really don't. I mean, I don't have children for a reason, because I don't feel like I would, if I would.
So I say this. If you're a person that has the money, right? You pretty, from what you described in the lives you come on, you got the financial needs. You ain't lacking for no paper, right? So does that have to be something? Now, I'm not saying get with no bum, but you also got to understand that not a lot of people are making the type of money that you're making, or come from the family structure that have the
That is
means
an
that your
issue for
family
a
has.
lot of the men that I
So,
run into because they got issues with a lot of my stuff. I'm easy going. Like I'm not even if you knew if y'all knew me in real life, my everyday is very simple. I'm not the type of person that care about like very expensive things. You know,
well, I was speaking towards your comment about if he doesn't make as much as you, then
yeah,
marriage is off the
because
table.
of the
Hold on, wait, Nick, hold on. Benny, you see the Monia, I think I'm saying her name right. She said she been trying to request. You see it? Because I don't see it. So that's why I was like, do you see it? Because I don't even see it. Oh, okay. Because I'm like, I don't see it
I
on
ain't
my
even
end.
been
That's why I
paying
was
attention.
asking.
I'll bring it up.
Sorry, Nick.
no, you good.
Thanks, y'all.
Do your thing, got ring late. But I run into guys that make good money, just as good money. So I mean, I don't. The thing is, I don't know. Like, it ain't that big of a deal for me to be married. Does that make sense? So if the guy I'm gonna put it like this: if that is the only issue and everything else is great, then no, I would not make a big deal about the finances. But I don't get to that part. Does that make sense? Like I don't get to the part where we can have those types of necessarily those sit downs because they show themselves when you're talking to them. You see what I'm saying? Like there was a guy that I was speaking to. It wasn't like a date or nothing like that. We just happened to run into each other through a mutual friend. And he was like, no, I don't think there's anything wrong with cheating. We've been together 20 years and I've been doing good. And I'm like, oh, no, you think it's a reward? Like, you think I'm supposed to let it slide? And he got mad because I told him, I would leave you. Like, I most certainly would leave you. Like, the STDs, have y'all not seen what's going on out here?
Well, yeah,
But
that
that's
sounds
what
like a
I gotta
goofball.
weed through. Does that make sense? You see a lot that I'm in order to find someone that's nice, loyal, considerate. I take dudes on dates too. Like when me and him was when me and my ex was in a relationship, like I sent him like food. I bought him flowers. It was a nice collaboration. That's what I'm trying to say. But in order to find someone that is all those things and just, I mean, generally kind, that's not that easy. And that I'm actually attracted to. Cause yeah, I've seen guys and they're not that cute. Like I think I deserve somebody cute because I'm cute. That's how I feel. At least.
I mean, cute as like, I mean, I don't know your taste in men, so I can't, I guess, speak towards it. But it's like, I don't know. It sounds like you got a lot going on, and you trying to like downplay. Like it sounds like you do got real high standards.
I just want to say something about what.
But
I'm sorry. I just want to say what you were saying earlier, Miss Nick Train.
Yeah, I'm coming train.
About like location. I can understand it. Like you want to live happily together but separately because where I work at now, I work on a military base, so that's who the type of guys I'm looking for. I don't even care if they work at Lockheed Martin. And a lot of those places are, hours out from me. And I don't mind if we live someplace and it's a 2 hour for me. It's like I just want to be married if we are compatible and, are meant to be with one another. And it's like I work from home, so it's kind of like a convenient thing for me, and we can always see each other for the weekend. It's just that the distance thing, that's my, I guess, my biggest hurdle, but I'm learning to adjust to it because a lot of men, eligible men, they're just on these bases. Half of them are married and other ones are single that I'm looking for because where I'm at now, it's nothing but Toyota and Amazon, and the degenerates are abound in both places, sadly.
That sounds like a dream. What? Benny, don't look at me like that. You know I would love to do the 5 and the 2 again if he was back traveling. But, he's here all the time now.
I can't wrap my head around so many women that have this like I need my space. I don't be like my wife can't stand when I'm gone for work or I'm you know what I'm saying like and I don't like when she gone and like I just can't.
How long
It's
y'all
just
been?
strange to me. Like where does that
How
come
long y'all been
from?
married? Or how long y'all been together, including your marriage?
Uh,
So I think y'all
11
met
years.
each other at a time
We
where, like, you have to realize I'm in my 30s. You see what I'm saying? So I've kind of been doing this alone for quite some time. So I'm kind of accustomed, and that may be a factor in it because I've never, like I said, I've never lived with a guy before. I've never even went on a vacation with a guy.
But even when I was dating and I my ex but because again when I did date I dated when I chose to be relationship Benny I took that seriously. Now when I was dog Benny that was a different story. So but even when I was dating the women my exes like I still like I liked those women. I wanted to be around those women. Um so when I still can't grasp the idea of it's like women be wanting committed loyal men and all these things but then still want the comfort of quote unquote my space.
In my space though,
You know what
baby.
I'm saying? Like so if things ever get prickly I can back up
Well, I
instead
gotta
of
be honest with you. I love my space,
dealing
bro. I
with
got a
it.
whole studio down here. It's soundproof. I just got off the road with 2 kids and 2 dogs.
Well,
Yeah, it's still in the
but you
house. Yeah,
got it's still in the house though, right? Right. Like
yeah.
I got where I'm at. This is my little game room. I got all my games. You know what I'm saying? This is my little
Different houses or
space.
something.
But
Yeah,
as far as
I
like,
get it.
there's a lot of women, like women in the comments, like, yeah, you can have your house. I can have my house. Like, first of all, half of y'all don't even have the money to even sustain some shit like that. And number two, like, it's just
Yeah, I
strange.
wasn't
And
there.
I don't
It's just strange
I
to
don't
me.
think my standards are, and maybe it might be, this is just my opinion, but I don't necessarily think my standards are too high. And one of the reasons why, like, for example, even the aesthetics thing, right? Like, I'm 5'8", I'm 6 foot in heels. I go to the gym and I work out. I don't even require the dude to even, like, last dude I dated, he was chunky and he was 5'10". You see what I'm saying? And I
So what? So
he hit
what
my
was
birth
the
control.
issue with that?
He hit my birth control.
That why?
That'll do it.
Who the fuck you need?
You
You know
know
what,
what?
That'll
Nick, I'm
do
gonna
it.
be honest, because I know you.
Clutching
I
my
know you
pearls.
said. See, he was trying to get a piece of that pie. I think your problem is you up here as far as your finances and your career and all that shit. But I know you said you was a reform pick, Pookeisha. So it sound like your choice in men still
Nah,
dabble
he
dabble in the
actually is the
reform
director at
Pookeisha.
Nike. That's why I got a crazy Jordan collection. Like, he is a well respected dude, and and here's the deal: he has children, and we're cool. I'm not like I'm not mad at him or anything like that. But
Just cause you a
but he
director of
Them
Nike
be the
don't mean you
craziest
ain't no
ones,
no
Nick.
dude that you
Well,
be
I was saying, like, as far
like
as on paper, most people view him as an upstanding dude, and he is a nice dude. I think he just got frustrated with me, and he was like,
So he's gonna
I'm
knock
gonna
you up.
trap you. Yeah, I'm gonna trap you,
That
but
ain't.
I
That's not
have
an
backup
upstanding
birth control.
man, Nick.
Huh?
That ain't an upstanding dude, bro. He's like, you know what? I
Well,
can't get it the way I
no,
want to get it. So let me flush these shits down.
how's
At
your
least you
birth
gonna skip a
control?
day.
Give
Let me
you a
see.
baby.
but I'm just saying, like, I get that, and y'all right, but I'm saying, on paper wise, until I told y'all that, and I never spoke ill of him, because I really don't have I don't really have a whole lot of bad things to say. Like, my parents, I've seen a marriage. They still married. They've been married very, very long time, longer than I've been alive. So for me, all I'm saying is just I've seen it, and I've seen dogs in my family. I have pro athletes in my family. I've seen military men. I've seen.
And that's another thing I was gonna highlight, because I'm pretty sure your circle of dudes who you probably deal with come from that background, because that's where you at as far as
I've
celebrities
only
Now
dealt
remember,
with
and
she
athletes and
in
stuff of that
Georgia.
three
nature.
She in
dudes.
Atlanta. Remember
I've
that
only
now.
dealt with three dudes. I've only
I'm in
dealt with three
Atlanta.
dudes.
I'm in
Three
Atlanta
dudes.
too.
I've only dealt with three dudes in my life. What I have seen, when you see someone be brought back diseases. Also, remember I told you I had that cleaning company. So I've seen stuff firsthand, just going and checking behind cleaners in the homes, and the fights and the arguments. Like I remember kitchen. Yeah,
Like in Atlanta though,
you know
man,
what I'm
you in
saying? And
Atlanta. That's
Yeah, you in
Nick,
Atlanta.
you
I'm in
in
Atlanta too.
Atlanta.
I
I'm in
did
Atlanta
but I
too.
2
don't
It's a whole
years. That
stare.
was
different
it.
thing.
it's,
I don't.
I, I forgot you did say you lived in Atlanta.
That's why I
Now
say I'm not doing
everything
this
makes
marriage shit
sense.
again. I'm
I
in Atlanta
forgot.
too. I see what niggas be going through. Is when we going through? Absolutely not.
And it's both
Absolutely.
sides. It's both sides, y'all. So it ain't like I don't see the women doing the dudes
Yeah,
wrong,
that's what I
because
said. Both men and women.
yeah, like I don't look, if I were to deal with someone, I'm gonna treat them with a clean slate. I've already asked my questions. I've already verified. I'm not managing no dude. You a grown man. You said you was gonna do right by me. I'm very simple. Take me to get lemon pepper wings. Get me my peach drink. And come to the gym with me sometimes. We can play video games. We can. I can tell you anything about Marvel. I can tell you anything about quantum physics for the most part. I mean, it's always evolving and changing. Or I can tell you all kind of stuff. We can hang out. We need to be friends, but don't try to don't try to control me, because one thing that I can tell you other men have tried to do, they want me to stop working, and I like making money, because for me it's easy. Like it's easy. Like why would I not make money? Like I can work.
So, so do you talk to dudes that like regular dudes, like just have regular careers, like a pharmacist or a doctor, or like
Yeah,
regular
That's
the
supposed to be
real
director,
people?
the guy that was the director, and the previous guy that was an executive at Bank of America, I knew them about like since I was in when I lived in my hometown, and I left when I was 18. So I knew them a long time before I ever went in a relationship with them. But I have dated, and when I say date, I wasn't sleeping with them. I was going on dates with them and getting to know them. And they were not like necessarily high earning, but they were high value, because they were nice guys up until I started seeing red flags, and I paid attention to them. Like one guy, here's the deal. I went out with a guy, like it was years ago, but I went out with a guy, and he had 5 kids, and he said he dogged his ex-wife out so bad she ended up having to get she had to get put somewhere where she was hugging herself for a long time. And I said, oh no, nah, bro, like and he didn't even seem like he was ashamed, but he said, I'm not like that anymore. Nah, I think you're a terrible person. I wouldn't move forward with him. And another reason why I'm very protective of myself in that way is because I don't want to be bitter about black men, because oftentimes when you do see there are bitter women, it is because they stayed too long. So I'm not going to stick around and let you just dog me out and be like, oh, he'll change, because they don't change. And I'm telling you firsthand that I've never seen a man change. The men in my family, even down to my nephews, I have an adult nephew that I went to college with. He had ghetto twins, and he don't feel bad. And all he did was
Nick.
what he did. And he just, no, I mean, I don't care if he see this live, I'm his aunt. I mean, he can't check me. He shouldn't have did it. But women see him. This is a 6'3",
Hold
big
on, what's ghetto
muscular man.
twins?
He had them at the same time. I don't back none of these dudes up. He had a child with his wife, and he had a child with a side chick at the same time. He didn't feel bad. They don't change that I have ever seen. And I have a male dominated family. It's far more men. And here's the deal. I see women, they say that they accept it in my family, or even some girls I used to be cool with, because I don't hang with people that if you cheat on your husband, or cheat on your wife, or cheat on your boyfriend, cheat on your girlfriend, or do them dirty, take from them, dog them, I don't hang with you, because it's a matter of time before you do me that way. I I don't trust people like that. You have to be a good person. I have 2 friends, and it's over 20 years we've been friends. I can maintain a relationship. So that's proof right there. So that's all I'm saying. Like, and guess what? Those very same men that be dogging, I'm gonna tell you how they know they wrong. Because they don't want that for me. They're like, oh no, don't do that. He meant to do that. Like,
Nigga, I gotta give me some wine.
I just know you need to get the fuck up out of Atlanta. That's what you need. But what up, Mel? What you
what's
got,
up,
bro?
Benny?
What's up?
I was finna ask a question because
What up, Benny? I'm head out, brother. I appreciate you, man. Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Hey, man, appreciate you stopping through, big dog.
Yeah.
You too, man. Be easy.
I was finna ask, like, I have a fiance and stuff. You know, I just turned 26. She 25. We finna get married. I was just finna ask, like, how is marriage?
Shit, marriage is lovely for me. I can't complain. Shit. I have a very healthy. I get all the booty I want. Shit, my wife is very easygoing. I ain't got no issues, no complaints over here, bro. I love marriage. Marriage is peaceful for me. It's far more peaceful than when I was running the streets. Shit, we making money. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's lovely over here, bro. That's all I can say.
Were you like ever nervous and stuff like that? Like on the wedding day, were you ever nervous?
We got married at the courthouse, and then we went to Buffalo Wild Wings after that, right down the street. And if you know where the court anybody that's in 757, you know the courthouse is right next to that Buffalo Wild Wing downtown Norfolk. So we that's what we did. I mean, I was nervous. You know what I'm saying? Because relationships, marriage, these things are a risk, and you never know how it's. You know, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people get so caught up in like I say, the negatives, or you know, what could happen versus just living in the moment, taking that person for what they are and who they are, and waking up every day, and y'all taking it day by day, choosing each other every day y'all wake up. That's all you can do. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. It takes work. It takes dedication, commitment, and again, just because y'all get married doesn't mean that things are just gonna happen because y'all are married. What we got over here? A baby or something. Doesn't mean things are just gonna happen. Like it takes work. You know what I'm saying? Every day. It's not like, oh well, we married now. You my wife. I'm your husband. Like this shit just gonna work. Like nah, you gotta wake up every day and say, damn, I'm gonna be a husband to this woman today. I'm gonna be faithful to this woman today. Cause that love shit, them butterflies, that shit go out the fucking window. After that first year, that shit gone. Now you gotta take that person for who they are, their goods, their bads, their ups, their downs, and you have to choose them.
Yeah, because back in the day, like I played
day.
Division I basketball in college, and like I was outside for real, like outside, like women like shooting they shot in my DMs and stuff, and even women out the country trying to fly out to come see me, come to my games and everything like that. And like I realized like that lifestyle, it get draining, you know, after a while. And so yeah, it get old, bro. And I realized like, dang, at one point it was bad. I was like, dang, why am I living my life like this, man? I feel like I'm destroying myself. You know, because back then it was all fun and games and stuff when I was like 20 and stuff like that, and 21 and shit and stuff like that. And now it's like, dang, nah, but this woman right here, this a woman of God. And, you know, I'm getting closer to God. You know, I'm having a strong relationship, you know, with the Most High. And I realized like living that life, that ain't it no more, you know?
Bro, that shit, like, and that's how I know a lot of these dudes really ain't getting women the way they say they do. Cause bro, that shit, when you really in them street, you really bagging them. It get old, bro. If you are the type of man who moves forward in life and you want things in life, and you say you want marriage, you say you want a family, you say you want these things, that shit get old, bro. A new chick every day running through your roster, that shit get old. And men, we want connection and relationship just as bad as these women do. I don't know why these dudes get on here and try to act like they don't. Like, we want companionship. We want, you know what I'm saying, to wake up every day next to somebody. We want somebody that's gonna listen to us and care about the shit. Like, that's we want that shit too. And it get old dealing with a new chick every other day, every other week. Now you know what I'm saying? Like, so you get to a point where you find someone who really rock with you. They not perfect, because nobody is, but they rock with you for who you are and what you stand for. And you can't ask for more than that, man. You can't. If you can really connect with that person, have friendship with that person, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
what
because as
more can
soon
you
as
really
like,
ask for?
you know, my fiance, like she be praying for me and everything, and I be like, dang, that's real. And then she cook for me and all that, you know. Like this woman, she a lot different from a lot of women in this generation, bro. Like this generation of women, bro. Like this newer generation of women, it's sad, bro. It's just so sad, you know. It's evil. It's evil for real, for real. It's real evil. It's evil.
I think with a lot of the chicks now, they like the way that the gangster rap era hit, you know, black men. I feel like this city girl, you know, whatever the shit with the sexy red era, city girl era, like it's hitting all the women like gangster rap hit the men. I don't think they realize that, and it's like that whole mentality of I can do what I want. I don't need no man. It's gonna catch up to him the same way that gangster rap caught up to and then all this drill shit is catching up to the dudes just running out here making these broken homes, having all these babies. They want to complain about child support. Like, it's just it. But I'll say this: there are, again, there are men out here who want marriage. There's women out here who want marriage. But people got to get out their egos and get out these unrealistic expectations and get out these echo chambers that they get on they get into on these algorithms, and start taking people and situations for what they are, and moving with intent with what's in their face versus comparing themselves to
Yeah,
what
you
they
know,
see
you
on
had
fucking
made a
social
video of
media.
this one girl, right? Her name was like Juicy something, and she had like a BBL. Yeah,
Uh,
that same girl. Like I live in
yeah,
Dallas, bro. She lived
yeah.
in Dallas. We lived in the same like apartment high rise, like downtown.
Oh nah, she
For
said
real?
that was her house that she.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Oh,
It's a
this is
small,
so
it's a small
great. This
world, right?
is
It's a
so
small world.
great. You really know her.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
crazy. The girl with the fireplace. Yep, and
yeah,
the
and got the
the
filters and
eight
stuff.
fifty.
She stayed in my high rise apartment downtown when I was living downtown. And she was trying to get at me
Uh
so
huh.
crazy, like hopping the DMs and stuff. Because I be in the gym, I work out and stuff, and I personal train. And she was all like, can you like work me out and stuff and personal train?" And I told my fiance, I was like, "Bro, this woman been trying to get at me since the pandemic." And I was like, "Bruh, no, she just got a BBL, bro. She is not all that." And I wouldn't do that to my woman and stuff like that, you know. And yeah, she lived. She
That's
DM'd me her
crazy.
room number and everything. She was like, "I stay in this room number, da 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 da." And then like a month later, she ended up moving on my same floor, and then like me and my fiance, we took Christmas photo shoots and stuff. We had our matching pajamas. Even the dog had the pajamas on too. And I was about to get on the elevator. It was just me and my dog. And she came out and stuff and off the elevator, and she turned around and looked at me, started walking towards me, and she was like, "Hey, how you doing?" and stuff. "You're so tall," because I'm 6'7", bro. And she was like, yeah, and Yeah.
God damn.
And she was like, wow, I didn't know you were that tall and stuff. And she tried to start conversation. And then she saw my fiance walking towards me, like coming out the room. And then she started walking back to her room. She got away from me real fast and everything. And then, yeah,
And she knew
it's
you had
crazy.
a
Because she
woman.
kept asking me, like, where you stay at? Where you stay at? And I'm like, bruh. Yeah, I'm like, bro, she ain't even all like that. It's just a BBL, bro. That's it. And then, and she act like her shit don't stink, you know?
That's crazy. That's
Oh my, okay,
crazy.
she
So
drive
what she really drive in
like a
real
all
life?
black Nissan, you know, Nissan Altima.
Oh,
Yeah, it was like
that's
it was an all black, it was like an
crazy.
all black
That's
joint.
crazy, y'all.
Yeah, she kept stalking me. Like even my fiance said, "There go your stalker right there."
Not the Nissan Altima.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy because she
Nah,
told
bro,
us
they
she
be lying
drove
for
a
Big
social
Mel, you
media.
have
BMW
done nothing
850.
but put more fuel to this fire.
Oh my bad.
Thanks a lot. Oh God.
That's
I ain't trying to be
crazy.
messy, bro.
No.
I'm not the messy dude. I was just trying to say, hold on, girl.
No, that ain't messy.
Yeah,
Hey,
I was
bro,
like,
you
bro,
just
I told my
spoke the
fiance, I
truth.
was like, bro, I was like, Benny getting on the girl that was at the apartment downtown, bro. And she was like, oh dang, that is her.
Wow.
They be lying, bro. They be lying,
That's
bro. They be
crazy.
lying for the
See,
internet,
this is
bro.
what happens when you get on here. When you get on here and you be lying,
Yeah.
people, it catches up
Facts.
with you. It's the year of the truth, like
And
Cat
she went
Williams
to the, you
said.
know, like the leasing office, right? She went to the leasing office. My fiance was down there
Yeah.
one time, right? She was just walking her dog, but she was just talking to the lady because she was cool with, you know, and she had caught the girl down there talking about, you know, they were talking about how the rent went up and everything. She was complaining like, how the rent go up? My mama pay for this rent and stuff like that. She do this and whoop de whoop. For real, bro. Like even my fiance would say that, bro. Right?
Big Mel, please.
Hey,
Big
right.
Mel, please.
Wasn't
Nah.
that girl and the juicy girl? She was in
She
the leasing
told.
office complaining and saying, "My mama pay for this, my mama pay for that."
Yeah, that she was down there
We
for a
ain't
good
never gonna
couple
get off
days.
we ain't gonna never get on the right algorithm. We ain't never gonna get on the right algorithm.
Yes, let not. This ain't mess. This man is speaking the truth. See, there's a lot of false prophets out here, right? And they gotta be exposed. Because I clocked this shit. I knew, bro, don't know 26-year-old baddie keep their graduation picture on the fireplace mantle. That's not how that works. I'm sorry. Don't know 26-year-old Instagram BBL baddie gonna have Dookie Brown
D, he
UPS
gonna have
leather
us fighting in the
couches in their
comments again.
house.
Watch.
No. Cause I already knew. Now it's just,
Yeah,
I didn't know she lived in Dallas.
I've been to Shreveport
I'm from
too. Shreveport
Shreveport.
official
I'm
for sure.
right.
Yeah, a lot of
All
people
my
down here
people in
from
Dallas.
Shreveport, Louisiana for sure.
Oh,
Well,
all my partners and
yeah.
shit out there in Dallas. This is great. This is great. Now that I know she's in
And she
Dallas,
follow me too, but I
oh
don't
my
follow her
God,
back,
this is
bro.
great.
She follow me on all social medias and everything. I don't follow her at all.
Be
Stop being
thirsty
messy.
ass.
People
That's
talking about what's
crazy.
her
And
act.
got up
Stop
here
being messy. This is not messy
and
talk.
well, I made a video about it. They can find her
Yeah.
with her
I
lying
was like,
ass. That is
okay, I was
crazy.
like, yeah. I was like,
I
yeah,
think she
Benny
blocked me
peep
though.
game, bro. I was like, Benny, he peep game for sure. Like he peeped it. I was like, I know who that is.
Because, bro, I don't be like I be telling people all the time, bro. When I speak, like, I don't speak from social media and like when I talk about shit, it's because I live this shit, and that's why I talk. I'm like, bro, I don't gotta talk about like. That's why I told her, I'm like, you drive an 850. I said, go get the keys, cut the car on. Your profile should be right there. My BMW, you gotta set it up. All the
She the
24s and
Nissan
shit, you
Altima,
gotta
bro,
set
and it
up your
was like banged
profile.
up and everything, car dirty and all that. Facts, bro. My
Now,
fiance, bro, like,
Oh
you
my
just
God.
said you weren't trying to do nothing, and you just keep adding the sauce on there, boy.
yes,
I
ma'am.
swear.
My bad,
Just
yes, ma'am.
adding the sauce. I'm gonna drop you. I'm gonna drop you.
Oh man.
I'm just tired of it,
Let
bro.
that
I'm
man
just tired
speak
of
his
like
truth.
a lot of these people. They be lying, bro. They be lying so hard. They be
The
lying about their
captain.
relationships and just saying that they in a relationship the whole time. And then you got these women out here, you know, they getting pregnant, bro, with no ring, bro, without no commitment. They just having kids out of wedlock, bro. So damn, basically you already a single mother, bro. Like that ain't no flex. I'm starting to wake up and understand
I can
now.
definitely.
I
That is a fact. I can definitely agree with Big Mel what he's saying.
already knew.
I just wanted to speak on that and kind of piggyback off of Big Mel real quick. You know, because definitely what he was saying
Yeah, go
about
ahead, bro.
you know, trying to not give into the chick that with the BBL because you know that when he got his fiance, he's trying to respect her. I really take pride in that because for me, I'm here. I'm actually going to be proposing to my woman this weekend, and thank you, bro.
Hey, congrats, man, bro.
Thank you. That means a lot. And I'm here, like I'm at the hall right now by myself, kind of decorating all that and listening to you guys. I'm trying to come up with reasons as to why. I mean, like tons and tons of reasons as to why I should marry this woman.
Oh, damn, you breaking up, bro. Your internet.
It's breaking up.
Your internet.
It's a little slow.
Yeah, it's breaking up. It's on
Is
life
it still
support.
bad?
A little bit.
I'm at.
You working? You in right now?
Yeah, but I'm here as I'm here sitting here trying to come up with I couldn't come up with one reason as to why I should not go in with this engagement, this weekend, because this is a big move for me. I can relate to Big Mel what he said because back in high school, even in college, there is this stereotype that goes on. Even right now, it's still in women's mind that men cannot keep the junk in the pants. They will F anything and everything that walks. So that I can definitely, you know what I mean? That I can definitely relate to. And I'm a man of repetition. I take a lot of respect in what I have, what I do, what I say. So this woman means a lot to me, and I feel like I owe her everything. She respects me. She does not even what she does; it's just how she loves me. And that means so much. It's just as simple as that. And she enjoys doing what she does for me. She don't have to act. She don't have to. From the very beginning, I was very honest, very honest. We both were very intentional. So that's a big deal.
And the fact that she pours into you makes you want to pour into her and makes you want to be committed to her. And that's what I be trying to get at the people. Do your part. Do your part. Don't get so caught up in, he could cheat, she could cheat. Do your part. Because when you sit there and you save some of yourself or reserve yourself because you want to protect yourself, that person can sense that. That person knows you're not giving 100%. That person know you're not all in with them, so they not gonna give. You know what I'm saying? It's a stupid game of y'all playing this bullshit, and so you're getting half of each other, and that's why y'all get the results y'all get. Like, do your part. And let's just say they do cheat, they do step out. They chose that. But at least you can sit with a straight face and honor in your heart, knowing that I did my part. I'm not the reason they did that. And you go on about your life and you find somebody else.
Absolutely.
It's that simple. But people get so caught up in it's just I don't know. That's just me. But to turn around and have kids, so that's the part that they'll protect themselves from getting hurt and cheated on by a woman, but they won't protect themselves from having kids. So
that part.
But yeah, again, bro. Hey, congrats on that, man. Best wishes to you and your lady, man. And I'm giving long, prosperous, energy to y'all relationship and y'all marriage, bro, for real. For ladies, y'all see, hey, we got black men up in here that's married, engaged, proposing. So I don't
Okay,
want
I
to hear
got a
that shit.
question
I
about
don't
what
hear that
Patrick
shit.
says. Congrats to you both.
Oh yeah, go
the
ahead.
one that's getting married and the one who's on his way to marry his wife. It's with when Patrick said about like he was trying to think of reasons. I heard about it. I don't know if it's a rumor. It's just something. It intrigues me that I heard like someone tweeted years ago that being think about every little thing, every reason not to, I guess, go ahead and marry the woman that they're with. Like it could be as little as, oh, she snores too loud. I can't deal with that. Is that kind of like something true, or is that, I guess.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to committing to someone, you, from the very beginning, you guys started dating first, getting to know each other, dating, and of course, I'm sure, sleeping in the same house, in the same bed together, and so on and so forth. You get to get used to that person, and you have to you can't let the little things overdo the good things. You can't say, oh, because she snores, or because he talks too loud, or because I don't know, he eats with his mouth open. So therefore, he's not a good man, or you can't think like that, or else you're not gonna find someone good. I mean, hey, maybe my feet does stink. Maybe she knows that. I'm sure she knows that. But hey, she still loved me, So I have a stink feet. I don't. I'm an athlete, so yeah. That was just an example.
Because a lot of people, I mean, because fellas are we like, again, it is a risk. And you just kind of want to check all your boxes and dot all your I's, but you can, but it gets to a point where you could do that so much to the point where you overthink it, and you'll talk yourself out of something. You can talk yourself out of a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And I always go back to other aspects in our lives, like. You can talk yourself out of making a business move, but people will take the risk on that. People are can possibly talk themselves out of other decisions and choices that we make in life. But they'll go and get over their fear and they'll do it. But then when we start talking about relationships and building something with somebody, people get reserved on that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if people took the mentality that they take in other aspects that they may be fearful of in life, in jobs and work. You know what I'm saying? Like I might be scared to step out and apply for a new job. You know what I'm saying? But and you can talk yourself and be like, man, I don't think I can qualify for it, da 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 da. And you can do one of two things. You can stay in your fear and stay where you at, or you can take that risk and apply and never know. You might get the fucking job. And it'll change your entire, career trajectory. And you should deal with relationships the same way. Be calculated, of course, vet, of course, and take the proper steps. But at some point, you got to go apply. You got to go apply yourself. You got to take the risk if that's what you want. You know what I'm saying?
All y'all plan on having kids with your wives or husbands? Because I will say that's one reason too why I felt like marriage wouldn't be something that I would want, because if I were to have children, I would be married first, period, point blank. I wouldn't do that, but that's another reason for me why I don't feel like I would be necessarily marriage material. Like I could just meet someone and we just hang out. And if he wants to go, he thinks he found, he wants to be back single or found someone else, then I don't think I'm not going to hold anybody that don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So that's why I was like, I could be okay with like just a partnership. Doesn't have to be married, and you could do other paperwork if you want me to be the person in charge, and it doesn't have to be married. Like any of these. Mm-hmm.
But I say, but that's the thing though. you'll do all this.
Right.
Now, if you don't want kids, that's one thing. But if you want like partnership and shit, why do all this unnecessary paperwork when you could just do the one paperwork that will basically take care of all that other paperwork?
Here's the thing. I'm open to hearing it if the right person were to show up, if that makes sense, and that's something that he wants. Then we could talk about it, and I probably will be open to doing it. But the thing is, I haven't gotten there. Does that make sense? Like it hasn't. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I was asked one time to be married, but this was by the guy that did what he did, and that's just not. I got to be able to trust you, if that makes sense. So I can't sit up here and just say yes just so I don't be by myself, because I'm okay with being by myself because I like myself. Does that make sense? Like you'll fall for anything when you're desperate, and a lot of bad decisions are made when I'm not lonely. I don't feel that. But
Nick don't want to settle.
I don't feel like I would have. I don't feel like I don't like to say settle, because I can like someone and I can love someone, and they don't have to make the money I make. They don't have to be a 10, or they don't have to be all these different things. It's honestly conflicting core values that I find to be a lot of the issues for me, because hiding birth control, that shit is wrong. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but again, when you speak, I have to put in context that you are in Atlanta. That makes a big difference.
Atlanta and Florida are two trash places to date, unfortunately.
LA too.
Oh yeah, LA too.
So I have to say, like, so if your thing is you just want friendship, companionship, loyalty, then you have to seek out people who exude that. Not only in romantic relationships, but their friendships, their co-workers, strangers that they interact with. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do they move as a person? And then when they're with someone romantically,
do you know how rare that is, though,
it amplified? Because
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
In Atlanta, yes.
Having that conversation up front.
Yeah. Like I said, we're right, but we gotta add a disclaimer to everything you say, because we gotta put a big star that says
doodle, booty juice. Atlanta. It's like everything all in it.
But so what I say is, to a woman like yourself that has the financial means to pick up and go wherever she wants to go, if you do desire that in a like that, again, kids, that's a different story. But as far as a person, you can move. You know what I'm saying? Or you can go and travel and experience different places to where you can open up your option to finding that type of man. Because in a fast mood, like that's like Miami, you're not finding love in fucking Miami. Your tone. You're not finding love in Miami.
I found mine.
You ain't finding love in Miami.
I found mine, but he's from Brooklyn, so
you're not finding love.
He was from Brooklyn. That's why.
You're not finding love.
That's why it's important to make sure you're setting our standards from the very beginning, before too much damage been done. You set that standards, make sure your goals and your wants and everything aligns with whoever you're with. So God forbid, God forbid kids come into the picture, you accidentally got pregnant.
No.
He said, we didn't talk about it. We don't know. Now we don't know. Now we playing that we don't know game. That's how I see it.
I would say my situation is different. I'm gonna ask. I asked all the tough questions up front on a date, because I've been through like a cancer treatment, so kind of like time is like one of my most valuable things that I cherish. Mm-hmm. And it's definitely like when you're looking for solid companionship, you want somebody, when you're in marriage, you want somebody to show up to your doctor's visits. Not like, it's like you got a doctor visit, call me when you get there, call me, when you get back, we'll discuss it. Like, no, I would want somebody to show up, presently, besides my parents, yeah, to discuss the serious things about health and life. And kids, I'm kind of like on the table. It's really up to my future husband. I can have them, and I'm open for adoption.
Yeah. That's why I said the kids part is, if you're a woman that don't want kids, I can understand that. Don't get with a man that want kids. But if you say you want companionship, like, cause my thing is this whole, I just deal with a man and we could just be lifelong partners. But it's like, if as a man, if I love the woman to the extent where I'll be a fucking lifelong partner with her, why could I not at least show her a level of commitment and just give, you know what I'm saying? Like, give her that title, give her my last name, give her that sense of security in knowing that I chose. Like, what's so hard about that? If you can spend your whole life being a partner, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the shit that we come up with to justify our fear of signing our name on some paper and putting something like this on our finger. We'll talk about lifelong. So we'll live together. We'll spend money on each other. We'll have kids together. We'll do everything but put our names on a piece of paper to legally bind us. We'll sign power of attorneys. I'm like, do people understand what they mean? Like, when you give somebody that's not legally bound to you power to go out there and do anything in your name. Make that shit make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we come up with all these different ways to justify a form of dysfunction than just committing to the person. You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all want to be friends, be friends. If y'all want to be homies, be homies. But to sit here and do these, we could be partners, but it still want commitment. Like, you want to be lifelong partners and still be sexually, like, loyal to one another. But then, like, it's just, you can live in your house, I'm over here in my apartment, you in your, like, it's just all this. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But you ain't the only one. It was a bunch of women in the comments, like, co-signing that shit. And it's like, why? Because now, again, there are people that say, I'm not marriage material. That ain't what I'm trying to do. And they go, like, people like, I hate to use celebrities, but that's the only person I can think of right now. Like Leonardo DiCaprio. He is a saint. You know, that's the difference between, that's why I can't respect people like Cam Newton. Because if you want to be a bachelor, go be a bachelor. Don't be bringing children into that shit. Leonardo DiCaprio has been a bachelor since I done saw him on movies. And he done moved. Now, he might be I don't know, they allegations of him messing with Luke.
She's 20.
But hey,
he's 20.
But he ain't, you know what I'm saying? He a bachelor. He a bachelor. He do his thing. He don't bring children. So those guys that be like, I don't want to commit to no woman, then stop having kids. Go out there, be a bachelor, be responsible, and don't do it. So, but for the ladies, if you say, well, marriage ain't for me, I don't want kids, then go be what they call a bachelorette, I guess. Don't be sitting here trying to tell men, well, I want you to be loyal to me. I don't want you out here having sex with everybody, but we could be partners and you don't get that right to come. You don't get that right to tell
but
that man.
I will say this,
like,
I don't do that though, because I did say earlier, I haven't dated in years. I did say I wasn't necessarily marriage material. And another thing, I'm very considerate of other dudes too. I don't keep men around me just to gas me. Like, when I say I'm single and my phone dry, I'm single, my phone dry. I don't sit up here and keep men around for, like, those dates that women would get, or to tell me I'm pretty or fine or this and the third. I don't do that. I treat people the way that I would want to be treated. Like, I don't give them hope. I tell them. That's why I move the way that I move. And I'm not against marriage for other people. I don't tell people that because I've seen good things. I don't think every dude's bad. I don't think all women are bad. I don't think those things is just for me. I know how I can be and how I am, and I've the response that I have gotten from some guys, and I don't think I'm compatible. And also, finding a quality partner is not a guarantee. You know what I'm saying? I'm lucky to have friends, really. So that's kind of like how I move. If I met someone and they were quality and they were nice and they treated me well, then the option for marriage would be something I would be open to. But until then, I don't want to sit up here and be sleeping with dudes, get in a bunch of relationships, all that feel, and then I meet the dude and I'm raggedy. I'm raggedy, ran down, and mad.
And you shouldn't do that. And that's what I'm saying. You be selective in who you decide to deal with and move with intent and purpose. That's perfectly fine. My thing is, there's a lot of chicks who have that mentality, like, I don't want to settle, but when you start getting them to talk about what they gonna actually settle for, they expectations just be unrealistic.
I don't ask for, and realistically for me, I've never asked any person for anything that I couldn't provide myself either. So I don't put that all on the dude, because I do feel like if I were to end up with someone that was high earning, and I'm okay with being single for the rest of my life, and that's the thing. And I think that scares some people when they hear that, because they may not be able to understand it. But I made peace with it a long time ago, because it ain't a guarantee. You know what I mean? It's just not. But I can say I can just say when it boils down to it, if they were to show up, there's always exceptions to whatever a person says. And I would not sit up here and tell some dude to be paying all my bills. I'm not gonna sit and if a woman wants that for herself, that's fine, but that's not my requirement. Core values, you need to be kind to me and be decent and be loyal and just do what you say you're gonna do. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Ben and Nick just want a partner. Just let her have her partner without the ring. Just let her have it.
Hey,
Let her have it.
If the guy
would you be interested in a lavender marriage? I think women be lying on here when they talk about their beard in a marriage. Like, ain't no way, but I guess it can happen.
If that dude show up and he's all the things that I want and he want to get married to, I'm gonna get it to him. I'm not gonna keep that from him. That's not a hard no. My thing is, I'm not marrying someone that's going to mistreat me, because I'm not bitter. When I'm with someone, I treat them right. I go all in and I treat them well.
Yeah. I think Nick
That's
just
true
needs to book
too.
a match.
I give you that.
She need to go somewhere.
I can't leave because my father's getting older, and he has like some health issues from being in the military, and so I'm very close with my father. So I stay here and stay grounded just so I can be close to my parents. I really love my parents. Like I really do, and all my siblings are here too. So I don't want to, and I actually like where I live, like the state, not necessarily the city, and my rent cheap. So.
Well, maybe you need to take a ride down the goddamn what's a fucking shit, what's over there by Atlanta?
Come out of Atlanta and go past Atlanta.
I travel a lot. And so I don't have a problem with hopping on flights, this and the third. It just, you don't find it. Let me tell you something. A lot of people are fearful. A lot of people do think I'm lying. You just heard the dude say, he said, this sounds like a trap. It sounds cap. They don't believe that I'm not going to take advantage of them. They don't think that I'm not going to dog them out or cheat or anything. People think it's so common that it's been normalized to have those expectations. And that's another thing you have to deal with. I done had like dudes pop up on me because they didn't think I really was at the bookstore. They really don't think I'm in the anime and I'm at the anime shop. They really don't think that. So,
well, Nick, you don't come off as that type. Well, I mean, I've seen your TikToks, Nick. You don't come off as that. So I can see why they would think that.
They don't believe the stuff that I say. And you got to think who they've dealt with in the past. They may not have been who they said that they were going to be. So you see what I'm saying? Like, men be having terrible relationship experiences too. You know, it's not just women. So you know, I show up, I do my part. There's never been a dude in my paddock say I ever dogged them. Matter of fact, I'll even throw this at you. Not one dude in my paddock ever say I ever took a dime from them. Nothing.
But
And
Nick, you the freaking hush stop. Okay, I'm about to get myself in trouble. F1. You are already at Nick. Didn't you just tell me that you got the you are like head breadwinner technically?
I mean, I make good money, but I think I'm blessed and I'm lucky. But that could that could change at any point in time. You see what I'm saying? I prepare for rainy days. Like I'm constantly saving and stuff like that. But
look at it. You don't have any. But look at it. You don't have no kids. So basically, most of your money you can save and do whatever you want with it. Correct?
That's correct.
See?
And they don't like that too. A lot of the men don't like that too. They don't know what my finances are until they actually come. I stay at the top floor of the nicest high rise in Atlanta, and they don't know until they see me because I mean I'm in my 30s. I don't want to say how.
No, I'm saying I got a partner out there. He a police officer in the cab.
No, Nick, stay away from the police officer. No.
Nah, my partner. He when I say he want a family, that man want a wife. He want him a good woman.
Kids,
okay,
though.
hey,
I'm not having no kids.
How old is got a kid?
How old is the child?
He ain't. Cam,
she too young.
Like, I think Cam about to be 3.
No, that's too fresh. No,
oh, sir, but no, I'm trying to tell. Look, you say I can find you a man, okay? I'm trying to find him a wife. All right. The baby don't even stay with him. She mostly with the mama in South Carolina.
How long he been an officer, if you don't mind me asking?
When Charles left? Since he left out, because he was out here with us in Virginia, and then he left Atlanta. It was like 2020, the end of so like beginning of 2021.
Okay. I was wondering. My uncle used to be the captain of the Atlanta Police Department, so I was wondering, did he know who he was? And if he knew who he was, he know I got some hard men in my family.
Well, if you know the police out there, ask them about Officer Hard. You good people now. I ain't just capping. My boy said he looking. When I say he want a wife so bad, he want a family. And the women out there in Atlanta driving him fucking crazy.
Look, I used to service him.
He got his own house. You know what I'm saying? He got military benefits, all that good shit.
Officer Hard, officer. We'll see. I might ask about him. I don't know. I might. I'm telling you what he going through. No, I mean I used to be out there servicing a lot of. That's how I knew that them BBL that was our cap. They don't tell y'all the truth about what was going on them BBLs because that was big business. They used to call my company all the time. They couldn't do nothing.
Lord Jesus.
Hey, Nick.
Go ahead and don't holler. He up in the cab.
Nick, you not on no dating apps?
No, I don't do anything. I'm just chilling, like I'm just living life, traveling, and yeah. Or I go to I play video games and stuff like that, or like I study quantum physics and I want to work with kids, so I enjoy them, but I don't even like people like that too much because as soon as you meet people, sometimes they come out, they start dumping their trauma and stuff on you. That is, crazy stuff, like just. It's a lot of wild people out here, so I keep to myself so I can keep my peace. That's what I do.
Like the one that hid your birth control.
Yeah.
See the stories you got about these dudes out here. He got that story about these women. He was just talking to this little crazy ass social worker bitch, and she was fucking crazy. She was
And I
fucking
will say
talking his
this though,
house and
like,
everything.
when I say like I know women be cutting up for real, because the whole gene run real strong in my family, and I'm not gonna just sit up here and tell it, but I got an aunt that's my second cousin, so I mean I know the women get busy because I got plenty of hoes in my family, like stone cold hoes, but they kinfolk though, and I don't hang with them.
Kinfolk. Man, bro, that what man. Like I said, I lived through him. Them stories he tell me about them Atlanta. That one chick, that girl was moving so dirty. That girl was. She would come to his house after messing around with some dude at the studio. Oh my god, it was terrible, terrible. And but he tried to make a wife out of his baby mama, but she just ain't want it. So that's why she out there in South Carolina, goddamn struggling. But it is what it is. She ain't want it. So hey man, go ask about my partner, man. Now don't be out here making me look bad. And I'm be like, hey man. And then you end up being real crazy when I find out you the problem.
And that's like, nah, I'm telling you, if you look at when you went to my my profile, what you see, Miss Locke?
I had to follow you back because you got your shit on private because you
when I went to your profile,
my social media,
I saw you taking a walk. One of them, you was taking a walk, giving inspirational words. And then another one, I saw you, I don't know if you were lip syncing to a song because I couldn't hear the song. Your hair was blowing everywhere.
But that's like, I've never claimed nobody online. That's another thing. So there is no history of nothing.
He can't find no woman out there that they don't pay for no dates. They just want to go spend all his money. And goddamn, fucking go to $300 steakhouses and shit.
I mean, doing something like that for an experience, but I wouldn't sit up here like. I would be like, hey, would you want to go? We can split. It would be a natural split for me. Like, I got mine.
Well, he that's just him. Like, he bougie and shit. So, but them chicks, they don't be having shit out there in Atlanta, but some throat and BBL. So.
If they got that
in the chat, F1 in the chat. Oh my god!
I used to do business with a lot of the reality stars, and there is a small clip of me on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, but I was like in the audience. It's a clip. You see me briefly, and I remember they had like women. One woman, I ain't gonna put a business out there, but her butt was leaking because she had a BBL. Like, it ain't what you think. I wish they would tell the truth about BBLs, and they do be stinking. They smell bad. It's a lot.
He told me it was a girl that he was like he met this chick. He supposed to talk to her. He pulled up to her crib and shit, and he was like, she just started stinking. And he was like, he just left. And he blocked her, and she was like trying to figure out why he ain't want to mess with her. So he was like, man, that girl
he ain't lying. And like I said, it's both sides. So you find that, and then the thing is, you playing it for so long that you will become bitter. So I just bowed out, and I'm like, man, look, I'm just enjoying life, traveling, trying to get my money, and and if I, I'm not gonna have kids, but I'll spend my time helping mold children because they are the future. That's in my ministry.
You said you like your, you cool with your space. That's what this crazy social worker bitch got mad at, because he be at work and she be like, oh, well, you just got off work, and she what she said. He was like, he was heading home and he just fell asleep because he just worked the fucking like 2 to 2:30 to like whatever, the midnight shift or something like that. He got home and she was like, you didn't text me to let me know you got home, or you didn't call me to tell me. He was
I don't do that. I don't. I don't even argue like that. Like I'm telling you, when I tell you I did the work of reform Pookeisha, Lot can vouch for me. At least I would hope so. Them people when they were going in on me or whatever, I mean, it would have been too easy.
Yes, she held her composure. I give her that, and I kept trying to fight for her. I kept fighting for her. But it was like, what was it, like 4 against 2? Yeah, it was
Yeah,
4
but I'm
of them and 2
Thanos.
of us.
I'm Thanos.
Y'all better
No.
send me an
But
invitation
I understand,
next time,
like I trigger demons, so it take that minute because in real life, first off, I would never even cross paths with them. Number 2, I'm strapped. So if anyone of them ran up, they would have ate, everything in my chamber. So I mean, I wouldn't.
Oh Lord.
Oh my bad. F1.
Y'all gotta invite me to them. I can't. But that would they be like, you don't never come for you always coming for the women. Man, shit. But when I got on that biker man, when I got on that other dude, the one that was what he said. When you got when we was talking about Cam Newton and he was talking about love the children, it doesn't matter. Man, but they just
and
don't
none
understand.
of them were cute. None of them were really paid, and they were telling all their business on there. They just like, y'all giving me the ammo, and I would, but I can tell that y'all miserable, and anything that I would have said, they've heard before. So it's like, and I don't, I wouldn't.
It's funny because the one that said he dodged a bullet, it looked like he's missing his bottom teeth. So I was like, you really thought she was gonna be with you? Okay.
But that's what, and he the one that said that he was in or near Atlanta.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't. These men, they get pissed when they meet me or we speaking to each other, whatever. I feel like I talk for the most part with some sense. There might be some things we may not agree on, but man, I don't be going off on either. Look, you have your own life outside of me. If you say you're gonna do right by me, then do right by me. I take you for your word. That's it. And if you break it, we done. Period.
Hey Nick, like you know, like when you say like you were like a changed Pookeisha, right?
Yeah.
Like, does that mean as well too? Like you were used to dealing with like street dudes and stuff like that back in the day?
No, I used to get into fights all the time because and I was actually like bad. Like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't have no heat. Let me tell you how little I dealt with dudes to the point my hometown, everybody think I'm gay. Like I didn't do that. I just I used to like to steal cars.
Oh, you was like, that's not Pookeisha.
I used to like to do that. I stole the last dude I dated, I stole his car when we was in college because he said he liked me. So I'm like, I'm see how much he liked me, so I stole the car. So, and he actually liked me even more after that. So, like I said, I've known him for years, and then we end up dating, later. But when I say reform, and then in the club, because I don't drink and don't smoke. So if you grab me, you put your hands on me, it was a full blown fight, and I was coherent. A drunk woman fighting me, and I ain't got to drop a liquor, and I live in the gym, so my fights didn't last long because my dad taught me how to fight. So that's how I was, and my mouth was real crazy, and I couldn't keep no job because I used to fight at work. So that's me being like a Pookeisha. So then I started doing the inner work.
See, Benny, she worse than me. All I did was bust the window and went in the house and beat both of them up.
My sisters is like that though. I got a cut. It's very light, but I got a cut that's still a scar, a very light scar that's on my face. My sister cut me in my face. We fought each other.
Oh, I'm saying you talking about Pookeisha, nigga. You set it off.
Right
this is too gangster. You gangster. You stole his car. He fell in love even more.
Though. That's like Pookie. He at least a Pookie. And in order for him to like be attracted to me, I had to be his match, a Pookeisha.
Well, I gotta see what your whole self look like, because maybe that'll answer these questions. Because you would have stole my car.
No,
you gotta get cut off.
I mean, it's just how it was.
You must be something. You must be the finest woman these niggas ever
really think I'm all that. I think I'm a cute girl. That's it.
I said the finest
It's them
girl
light skin
these niggas
privileges.
done
I'm
dealt with.
telling you,
You still
boy.
my
Them
call.
light skin privileges.
I'm calling the police. I'm calling
I
police.
think they have dated attractive women because I've seen the women of their past. Because I am judgmental on, like, if you dated ugly chicks, I would not talk to you. So no, they date pretty women. I think they're pretty. I've told them they were pretty. Like, I don't know, but if not, somebody said I was the final boss. But no, I don't. But I haven't moved like that in years, like in a long time. I did the work, and I started studying quantum physics and spirituality and the Four Agreements. I read that, and I was always smart. I was an A student, so I just started applying like logic and moving with some sense. I'm a good ass
no,
person.
Nick, man, it's something. Nah, man, it's something there. I can't put my finger. It's something. Cause you can't just be running.
There's something in the water in
like
Georgia.
that.
That's all I gotta say, because I was talking to a guy. He doesn't have kids, but he shacked up with a woman with 5 kids of several different men, and he was like, helping out paying bills, and I was just looking at him like, why were you doing that in the first place?
What the hell?
Oh no.
He don't love himself. Tell that man to love himself.
I mean, he was telling me about, like, his day life. I was just like scratching my head, like, you had so much freedom, bro. Why'd you stay in that madness?
He did, because he had no self-love.
And he was from Georgia.
Ain't no way.
He was from Georgia. And it's like, I live in Alabama, and someone told me I need to change my demographics. So I'm thinking about heading up north to, like, New York, maybe.
What
Philly,
part of Alabama?
I'm outside of Huntsville.
Oh, I'm from Greenville, Alabama.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you. Yeah, because I get a lot of, like, these. I love countrymen because, it's that chivalry and all that stuff, but a lot of them use the Bible as manipulation. And when they found out they can't really, like, get me with the Jesus stuff and Jesus this and that, they call me possessed and try to exorcise me.
Dang, that's crazy. Hey,
I mean,
I got a question.
it's true.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
How y'all feel about,
Yeah,
this is just a random thought. I was like, how y'all feel about, like, mothers and stuff like that, like picking a man over their, like, son and all that, like, over their children, or they move a random man in the house and the kids don't even know him. And then, like, and
don't
then the mother
agree
kick
with
out the
that.
son, and then the mother kick out the son because the son get into it. He arguments with the fights and talk to the dude and be like, "Hey, you not even on my level. You beneath me." And mind you, like, this boy could be about like 15. You know what I'm saying? But he don't like the dude because he never seen a dude go to work. He always on the video game and all of this other stuff. He don't see the dude add no value to the mother. Like, what's y'all take on that?
Man, that sounds like a personal story. That boy was very specific about that. I mean, that's some loser ass shit to me.
I don't do that. I wouldn't. When I was dating, I'm gonna say that I didn't do that. Like, if you couldn't understand, like, I had a son and this, that, and a third, then there was no point in me even wasting my time with you.
And like, because my wife had 2 children. My oldest 2 are not from myself. I say it differently this time, lot. And so, but and even when I was dating, I'd mess around with girls that had children and stuff. And my biggest thing, I used to get turned off by, like, I would block young ladies, I'll say that was real quick to bring me around, like, so thirsty for me that they would bring me around their kids, like, off real. You know what I'm saying? Not that I was a weirdo or anything, but she didn't know that. But you so thirsty for my attention or whatever that you would bring me around. I'm around your kids. Hell, I done had chicks be like, hey, can you watch I gotta go grab something from the store to cook for us. And I'm like, I don't even know you. You don't even know me. Like, why are we, you know what I'm saying? Or chicks that would invite me to their house while the kids sleep and stuff. I didn't even go. It got to a point where I wouldn't even deal with chicks that would do that. Like, I'm peeping how you move. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have issue with dealing with women with children, but if I'm dealing with women with children, I'm peeping how you're moving. Because if I were to have children with you, and let's say we inevitably split, you would have my kids around that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I always thought that shit was weird, and I wouldn't even deal with women like that. But of course, there are dudes who don't know how to say no to no booty, so they don't care. But then they'll give those same women that let them around their kids, you know what I'm saying, and they give that woman kids, and now his kids around some strange man, and he like, man, you got my kids around this strange ass nigga. Da, 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 da. It's like, you was the strange nigga she used to have her
Yeah, do
kids
you think
around.
like in the future that's gonna mess up like the relationship between those kids and the mother?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It normally leads to, like, for the boys, they literally that sets the tone for how those boys go out and view women, because it's like, shit, my mama was a bop. You know what I'm saying? So why, I'm not gonna, I didn't respect my mama. Or I saw my mother out here getting her back broken in by random niggas all the time and shit like that. He gonna go out there and he gonna treat them women the same way. And these women really be creating the very men that they get on here and complain about and don't
I
even
would
know.
personally, I came from, I guess, a widowed household, so my mom didn't marry anyone, even though she had two guys to come up to her and propose to her after a year after they found out her husband passed away. I guess she like saw kind of like the impact that would be, because she grew up around the time where, I guess, that movie, I think it's called it's a black movie, but basically the mother doesn't believe the daughter that her boyfriend or husband or son was, messing with her.
Eve Bayou? You
That
talking
too,
about
and it was another
Eve
one
Bayou?
where I guess the daughter, as she got older, she kind of like pewed the man in the church or something like that. Someone pewed the husband or something like that, because she
Oh,
wound up in jail.
that TD Jakes movie. I know what you're talking about.
Yes, and that's
Yeah,
what a lot of
something Grace.
that's what a lot of single mothers, and well, yeah, I was child of a widow, but I guess single mothers were thinking around me in our neighborhood that they didn't want men around, because even though men probably present themselves as only one grown women, you never know, and that was kind of like a fear that they didn't want like to date men at the time, because she waited until I was off in college when I was like 18, 19 years old to actually like date again.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's wrong. Either way it go, big male, it's wrong. It's just wrong. It's wrong. You don't take care of your kids. I mean, that means you gotta put them first, because they're the ones that they're in need. They're in constant need, and I treat it both ways. I stopped being cool with a girl because she lost her child too many times for me. So, and we were work colleagues, and we ended up being friends. And her child was like a quarter of a mile down the road, running from her in their neighborhood, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't mess with you. Like,
What
I
the
think you're doing it
hell?
on purpose."
That's
Nah,
that
she live in
Atlanta shit.
Connecticut because
That's
she
that
worked
Atlanta
remote just
shit.
like I do. And so I was like, she thought it was a funny picture, but I didn't think it was funny at all. Like, when I say I take the kids stuff very serious. Like, I take it very serious. Like, I don't think I deserve the privilege to be a mother. And number two, if you gon' have them and you be around me, if I think you're not taking care of them, or you're not doing right by your kids, I won't fool with you. Period.
Hey, I was like, Benny, yeah, I know somebody like that. I just put it that way, but I do know somebody like that though. Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
the
I say
dude
you
don't
was
even take
very
care of his
specific
kids, bro.
about
And
that.
mind you, bro, they're 40. They're in their 40s.
That's how it be, man. I don't think no women know how that impacts their sons, man. Like, if your son is, and so my thing is with these women that have kids and still want to date. I think, man, because at the end of the day, if you're in a relationship with a man, you can't sit here and be like, "Oh, my kids come first." If you want to eventually be in a serious relationship with that committed. Now, mind you, I'm talking about a man that has shown you he can be that man, right? Eventually that man needs to come first. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to come second in a romantic relationship. I don't give a fuck what people say. As a man or a woman, that person has to. That's why I don't pay attention to, even if you with a man and those are y'all children, that man still need to come first. That woman still need to come first. Them kids come after that, because eventually them kids gonna grow up. They gonna make their own families. And you got to be stuck sitting there looking at the person you made them kids with, and y'all got to answer for all that shit y'all doing to each other. So that said, as a woman, if you want to put your kids first, which there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're going to say my kids come first, then go make your kids come first. Stop being selfish and stop trying to date these men. Go be like, I can respect women that choose their kids first. And then, hey, they got a man that come break that back end every now and then. Whenever mama need a break, she leave the house. She get a babysitter. She go get her back broke. And that's Mr. Charles up the street. And she come back home. And them kids don't never know who he is. I can respect that. What I can't respect is women out here dealing with men, trying to quote unquote find love. And then when they can't give that man what he requires in a relationship, then it's like, well, my kids come first. No, you just being selfish. And you're using your kids as a cop-out because you don't want to commit to a relationship with somebody. So if you want to put your kids first, do that, and stop trying to play both sides of the fence and put your kids first and then still find love on the side.
I think people act like they don't know how to prioritize. For example, like if
someone just said, because marriage does not benefit men.
I don't know. Their name is Dirty.
Like,
I don't got.
I'm still waiting on them to tell me how. I'm still waiting. Nobody seemed to want to answer me.
I mean, it can benefit you if you make like decent choices in the type of women, because even like, okay.
Let's not acknowledge.
If you use critical thinking and you prioritize appropriately, for example, like, obviously my nieces and nephews would be the closest thing that I would know to be a child, right? Or let's talk about like my parents. My mother like was having a birthday party and my best friend was in a car accident. Duh, I'm gonna go check on my best friend. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be there for my best friend. You know, if I was a parent and my child was having a championship basketball game or sports game, and my husband was in the hospital, or even if I was a single mother and I was dating a guy and he was in the hospital, or it's not really difficult to know what the most important thing is. It's prioritizing. I don't get that, but you do know that when you decide to bring somebody else into your relationship, bring somebody into your life, and you have other people, even if you don't have kids, you got to make time for all these people. And when you don't do that, that's when people, it's like smothering. You know, if you take the child factor out, you need to spend time with your friends. You need to have time to yourself. You need to have time with your family, and then you have time for your partner. And I don't feel like that should be a difficult thing for people to understand. But I think a lot of times with women, they're looking for men. Not all, but some are looking for men to pick up their slack financially. But then they really don't want the dude to be an actual father figure to the child, because that means he would have to act like an actual father. That means discipline. That means give direction. That means those things. And they want to stop him there. And the thing is, you can't do that. And that's why a lot of men feel like, you know, it's not worth it, because that child come out the side of their mouth. They can't check them as if that was their actual child. That's a lot for a dude to take on, and that's sometimes why they don't want to deal with single mothers.
And that was one of the first things. But I'm not gonna put it all on the ladies, because a lot of these dudes don't be asking them fucking questions when they dealing with these women with kids. They too busy getting caught up in that coochie. They don't be asking the question they supposed to be asking. One of the first things I ain't gonna say I asked my wife. I told her, I said, if we gonna deal with each other, I have no problem providing for, you know what I'm saying, your children, taking care of them. I said, but I need to know if I was to correct them, are you going to say, well, you can't correct them because you're not their daddy, or you gonna stand back, shut the fuck up, and let me do my job? The same way you want me to buy them stuff and treat them as my own, as far as the good side, I need to know, because when I have my children from myself, I'm gonna correct them this way. Now, do your parenting views align with how I'm going to parent the children that I'm going to bring in this world? And because I don't want division in my household, I'm not going to have your children being disciplined a certain way and then my children getting disciplined a certain way. And then, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. If I got to buy everybody Jordans, I'm going to whoop everybody ass. If I got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it's about to go. So, for the fellas, if you're not asking and demanding and telling these women your expectations when it come to dealing with their kids, I'm not gonna give all the blame to the women on that part, because that's why I made that video about that dude when he was like, "What do how do your kids bring value to my life?" or something like, "How are your kids gonna be an asset to me?" Nigga, that's the wrong question to ask. The question you need to be asking is, if I check little Daquan and I yank his ass up, are you gonna hit me with, "Oh, you ain't his daddy, you can't do that"? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree, and that makes all the sense in the world. But that vetting is very, very important in the beginning on both sides. But I mean, I've seen it in my family where, step parents come in, but I never saw where the kids were treated different or the kids didn't respect the parent. But that's my generation though. Like, that's from my family. So no, you're not wrong, but you can't sit up here and tell these dudes, "Oh, I've seen that video." I don't know if you saw that, where the girl was like, she's got 2 kids by 2 different dudes, but she doesn't want to date a dude that has children, and she wanted the dude to come in and basically pay all the bills. And I'm like, no, dude, that doesn't make any sense.
That's goofy. That's goofy as hell. That's goofy as fuck. And those women get everything that they deserve that they get when they get on here and complain about the men. Because you goofy. You can't want that man. You can't, for the ladies, you can't get on here and be like, "I want a man that's going to treat we a total package and we can." No, I'm like, okay, that's fair. As a man, if you're a man and you're going to deal, like my grandfather, when he met my wife, when I finally brought her home, everybody met her. My grandfather pulled me to the side. He said, "Now, you know what you're doing, right?" I said, "What you mean, Pops?" He say, "You see them over there, right?" I'm like, what the fuck you talking about?" He say, them little ones over there. I was like, "Oh yeah, Papa, they, He was like, "No, do you know what's over there?" I'm like, "Well, what you getting at?" He said, that's a woman and them children. If you're gonna deal with that woman with them children, that's your responsibility. You better treat them accordingly, and you better do right by her and them goddamn kids." You know what I'm saying? He was like, "So if you ain't ready for that, stop playing with that woman and let her go find somebody that's gonna do that. If not, if you gonna deal with it, you better step up. You better handle business like we done taught you how to do." I say, "Yes, sir. You ain't gotta say nothing left." You know what I'm saying? So if you gonna be a man that's gonna deal with women with kids, it should be known that you have to do for those children. But if you a woman and you want a man to deal with you and your children, dealing with you and your children ain't just the good. It ain't just buying your kids clothes, taking your kids out, buying them toys, doing all the good shit. It come with checking them little bad motherfuckers that run around. It come with yanking their ass up and disciplining them and doing whatever the case may be to turn them into upstanding children that's gonna go on to do something. But you don't want them to touch your kid. You don't want them to correct your kid. And it's crazy because, again, fellas, pay attention. Because if she'll do that to you, 9 times out of 10, she do that shit when them kids at school acting a fool. Oh, they the type of woman that sit there and don't believe the teacher. My kid would never do that. That kid be acting up at school. Like I said, pay attention to her relationships and how she do business outside of her romantic relationships and intimate relationships. How, like, if she the type of parent that defend everything her kids do, her kids can't do no wrong. 9 times out of 10, she not about to let you come in there and correct them kids. So don't deal with her. I don't care how fat her ass is. I don't care how fine she is. Don't deal with her. Because you're not going to change her. You're not. I said a lot of these dudes are just as guilty as these women trying to change these women or dealing with women they ain't got no business dealing with. It's okay to walk the fuck away from something, not deal with certain types of women. And like I said, I can't relate to a lot of the conversation that a lot of these dudes have on these apps about women, because I didn't have a lot of these problems, because the minute I saw something I didn't like, I just walked away from them women. I didn't keep them on a roster. I wasn't sitting here dealing with them. I wasn't still smashing just to say I smashed. I just left. I blocked them, or I moved on. I just forget they existed and moved on to the next. It ain't hard. But again, that's how I know a lot of these dudes ain't really pulling women. They say the way they say they pulling women, because they can't say no. They don't know how to say no. They don't know how to turn down no coochie.
And ladies, I will say this: if you feel a way about him addressing your children or disciplining your children, then don't be with him. Then let him go. If you don't feel like he's good enough to do that, then you shouldn't deal with him. Break up.
If you don't think nobody can correct your children, you don't need to be dealing with no man. Again, like I say, choose your children. Go choose your children. Raise your children. Get you a little boo on the side, outside of the house. Your kids never know who he is. Go get your back cracked in the hotel, whatever. Don't bring that. Don't be trying to have no relationships. Don't be trying to do nothing. Raise your children. And when they grown and they go on to do what they need to do and they out your house, then you go find you a man. You ain't got to worry about none of that shit. You ain't got to worry about none of that shit. But they can't do that because they got to have their cake and eat it too. Exposing your kids to all these men, running around, doing all this unnecessary ass shit. And that's how y'all get that's how y'all get what y'all
Y'all
get.
done changed the subject already. I was gonna back up Nick earlier. I agree with what she was saying about the dating market, and particularly like finding marriage-minded men that don't necessarily take women seriously. Like if you come to them direct, like not be in the streets, not be at the club, but you're like maybe a homebody, or like you might be at the gym or at other
Hey,
gatherings.
anybody talking?
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh,
I can.
sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So
Y'all can't
anyway,
hear
I
her?
was
No, I
just backing
can't.
up,
But
Nick.
it's whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know.
Nah, TikTok. I don't know.
Yeah.
TikTok been real weird today. I don't know. Some people been
But
saying,
I respect that you are pushing marriage in the Black community in particularly. At the same time, I feel like sometimes it's exciting fear that of being single, and I don't think that should be the case either, because not everybody should be married.
you said I'm excited. You say I'm
Yeah,
exciting
a
fear
little
of being
bit.
single. If you, I mean, how? If you're a single person, and you don't have. If you're not trying to be married, it shouldn't matter. This conversation should just
Yeah,
get scrolled
I don't know.
over.
I just feel like I do think you stress the importance of marriage, which is true, but at the same time, like earlier when you were saying like, oh, you could die alone and all that stuff. You could die alone married. You could, I don't know, but
I mean, no, but again, my conversation, the conversation is the people who want to be married. So if you happy and single, then it shouldn't instill fear in you if you're happy,
I know I
truly
do want to
happy
be
It
being
doesn't for
married,
single.
but
me.
I am terrified of marriage at the same time. So I'm one of those people. But I, I don't know. It's a big deal to be married. It's a big deal to commit yourself to someone financially, mentally, combine homes, values, and all that stuff. It's a big deal, and it can't be entered into lightly at all.
Nah, but nor is children, nor is pursuing careers, nor is anything that we do in this life. But people seem to get over
But
those
yeah, I
fears.
don't agree with having the children outside of marriage if you can help it. But
Because even something is like when I was scared to go off to boot camp and join the Marine Corps and live halfway across the country from where I grew up, but I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you like, we can get over fear, and not everybody gets over some fears like that, getting out of their hometown and trying to make something shake, and those people remain stuck, and then they complain later on about being stuck in lack of opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if we moved and operated in fear, you would never get nowhere. So if it's something, that's why I say if marriage is something you want, then move to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't be like there's risk involved in everything that we do in life. There's no guarantee in anything that we do in life. So why do people put marriage and over anything else that we do in life and have a different perspective when we start talking about relationship and marriage? Anything that we want that's worth the fuck in this life is hard to get and maintain and takes effort and energy and dedication and commitment to maintain. You know what I'm saying? Hell, me getting up and building the lifestyle that I want is hard. But I get up every day and I put work in to go make this money, to continue to progress in my career, to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, but we start talking about doing that and investing into a person that we want to build with.
And you in
Everybody's just so
school.
fearful of
And
that.
you in school too.
I feel like when you get married,
Yeah.
I feel like there should be I feel like y'all should have talked about a whole lot of things though, because some if you getting married blindly, like, oh, I love this person, I want to spend, but y'all really haven't really talked about, like, for example, like I'm engaged, right? But me and my wife is not actually getting married because we actually believe of anything that has to do with marriage. You understand what I'm saying? But we know that together is better than apart. And I know that if anything happened to me, I want her to be in a position where she has control of my estate. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing is like I don't like I just feel like it's the same thing with having kids. Like people be having kids, but they ain't never really talked about religion. You understand what I'm saying? So now you have a kid, and now it's like when you start getting into the nitty gritty, like, oh nah, like for me, example, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in anything. You understand what I'm saying? So now, if we having a kid and you didn't know that or understand that about me, now we got a problem. You understand what I'm saying? So, anything that
Yep.
is forever or that you jumping into like that, I think that y'all really have to have all the awkward and all the uncomfortable conversations, and a lot of people don't like having them. You understand what I'm saying? Like me and my
Exactly.
fiance, like we done had all the most uncomfortable talks that you could possibly have, because at the end of the day, it's like when we sit here and talk about forever, do you really understand what that entitles, what that entails? That means that 10 to 15 years in, um come on, like what we gonna do? Like you gotta have those talks about, like, yo, when sexually things start fizzling out, what we gonna do? If you don't have those type of conversations, you understand what I'm saying? When those times come, y'all not gonna know how to handle it. And now you sitting with a problem that could have been all the way. That's why when they say communication is the key, yo, I promise you, on everything, that it definitely is. Because if you are not a lot, like if you can't communicate with your spouse about everything, y'all gonna have a problem. Yes, because like I said, like I done sat and had the most difficult and the most uncomfortable and the most awkward conversations that you could have with your spouse, and I know that going through, I know that going through, I know that going through
couldn't have them and how stressed and some like I could see some people wanting to get away from it. You understand what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like that's the worst part that you can be. That us, I think that we put too much we put our spouses, or we look for something out of people that we don't even actually have in ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like you don't like one like the truest thing ever says, like, you got to get to know yourself, and once you know yourself, you know everything and understand everything and everybody around you. So it's like the same. I always put myself in my wife and my fiance's shoes, as not like trying to be a woman, but just trying to be like, yo, this woman does, like, she does everything in her power to make sure that I feel loved, respected, and all of that, right? So it's like, what can I do to take some of the stress or something that might, just that she might feel uncomfortable talking to me about? How can I bring it forth to her so she feel comfortable about talking and opening up about anything to me, and not feeling like I'm gonna punish the truth. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the most thing, is that at the end of the day, I just feel like, as I'm gonna keep it on me as a man, I just feel like we don't allow women to really be or express who they are, because they of in fear of us looking at them differently. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like if women really had the space to really open up and like really express how they feel without being judged, relationships and marriage would be better. You know what I'm saying?
They gotta check that. It go back to what I said earlier, bro. A lot of folks gotta check their egos, and
Right, right. Yep.
something like the bedroom,
Yeah, that's
right?
basically what I was trying to say. That part right there.
Yeah, and like you spoke, the part you spoke, you was talking about like 15 years down the road, if things in the bedroom fizzle out, what we gonna do, right? So I mean, that can come back to when y'all initially start dating, bro. Like having that open line of communication with the woman that you with about your expectations in the bedroom, and what, what I'm saying. Like your woman might tell you, like, look, you ain't licking in the right spot, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You ain't hey, I would like to
You
introduce
gotta be
us to,
able, right. You gotta
what
be
I'm
able to
saying?
accept that as a man.
Right. And when you start hearing these critiques, you know what I'm saying? Don't look at it like, and I'm gonna say, like, don't look at it like, oh, well, I'm not good enough. But look, like, what can I do to satisfy you, to hit your needs, right? But ladies, on that same breath, it can't just be critique. You have to offer solution. Like, okay, I don't like how you do that, but this is what I like, and this is what gets me to where I need to go. So do this. Okay, like, and it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I tell you, hey, babe, you do it this way. I like this. As the woman, don't let that ego be like, okay. Then he say, but I would like if you do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it go back to communication,
Right,
consideration, comprehension, and giving a damn about trying to make that person happy.
right, exactly. Because at the end of the day, the one thing I learned is that throughout my relationship with my fiance, it's like relationships go through stages. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? And some people never even get to, like, let's say it's 5 stages that you go through before you really feel like you want to be married, right? Let's just say hypothetically. Some people only get to the second one. They don't even get to the third or fourth. And the reason why I can say that is because, like, the first year and a half of me and my fiance being together, like, it was almost like you still not even sure if y'all want or gonna make it to be together. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, because you still going through the now the honeymoon phase is over, so now y'all getting to the nitty gritty. So now y'all arguing, and the outcomes of these arguments, how they handle,
Yeah.
why you're going through it. Like, it gotta, like, it's levels to that. Like, if it don't start changing, if the intensity of the arguments don't start changing, if the outcome of the arguments don't change, if the way y'all argue, like, you understand what I'm saying, don't change, then y'all not really getting anywhere. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, that's like red flags in a relationship where y'all should be like, nah, this ain't gonna work, because after a while, like, me and my fiance is to the point where like, yo, we might like now like we might argue once a year about something
Don't even
dumb.
have big and the argument be about some stupid shit.
Stupid. Like it be stupid. Like stupid. Like you understand? And now it's to the point is that we don't even it just be like it might happen and 15, 30 minutes later be like, yeah, but anyway, yeah, and that's why I say it's levels because when you start looking back at it, I'm like, yo, we came a long way from feeling like staying mean, the most meanest things to each other to just being like, yeah, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And not letting it's levels to it, man.
It be so fun, man. We argue. Like I said, one time, the last little argument me and my wife got into, it was literally us both trying to help each other, and we just had miscommunication. And then when we talked about it and we sat down, we was like, you know what? We was really just mad. Like it was about like haircut. I was trying to get my haircut, but she was trying to get home on time. Some crazy shit, and she was like, you know, we was really getting mad at each other for trying to help the other person.
So over loving each other.
And it's like at the end of the day, you trying to combine. Like in the beginning, like again, like you said, most people don't even make it to stage 2 because they so caught up in the fairy tale, and when the real shit happens, it's like, oh, nope, this the bullshit. I gotta go. And so, but when you gotta understand, when you trying to combine, you're combining 2 lives. Again, that's why I tell people that first little year, whatever. Like you said, you trying to figure out, do y'all even want to be together? And I was realistic, right? Because again, I had my way with women. I was in the streets. I did my thing. My wife ain't no ugly woman either. She had her little roster of dudes or whatever. And it's like when you come together, that first like year and a half, almost, it's like you're slowly, cutting off your past. You gotta cut your past off. The other person has to cut their past off, and y'all have to come because we had our rough moments where it's like, do we really want to do this? But it gets to a point where it's like, okay, what are we doing? Do I see what you have to offer? You see what I have to offer. Are we gonna stop playing games and we gonna commit and we gonna make this shit work, or we gonna go and just go back to the streets? What we about to do? Once we made that choice and we said, okay, let's focus on us. Let's commit to us. Let's make this shit work. Ain't had no problem since.
And it's like I want to go back to what you were saying. I hope y'all don't mind real quick about the step, coming in with women that have children, right?
Yeah.
I know you noticed that if you go up, I was like targeting because what you were saying is like really the most realest thing. Because I always tell people this, right? I say relationships is like court cases. We might have the same charge, but I guarantee you from our history, we're gonna get handled different. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you got to understand that just like with you, like my whole thing was when I came into my fiance's life, like first of all, we had history. Like I knew my fiance like maybe 13 years before we even actually got into a relationship. All right. So that's one. So she didn't really have to be like, oh, who's this guy? She was still cautious or whatever. But for the most part, like you said, it was like once I came in, I had to let her know, like, yo, listen, like, I'm gonna treat your kids like they're mine. And when I say that, I mean all around the board. That means the same way I discipline my kid and award my kid is the same way I'm gonna do with them. I don't award bad behavior, period.
Right.
If we could get that together and just know that I'm not here to hurt your children at all. Anything that I do from this point forward is only to, even if it might come across like, oh, I'm telling you that it's out of love. It would be no different if it was my child. And if we could agree with that, then we good. I'm not a hands-on person, so you ain't never got to worry about them being physically abused. You understand what I'm saying? Unless they're doing something that it warrants that, and it got to be it got to be extreme. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So and I let her know that, and of course, as a mother, it was like, but at the end of the day, she recognized and seen like, nah, this dude really is here for my children. You understand what I'm saying? In the good or the bad. Like I done made and let it be seen like, nah, I'm like, we gonna ride this out. But I need to know too that, like you said, it ain't all fun and games. It ain't gonna always be, oh, we going to do this fun thing. But Then when it comes down to the real, oh, I can't say or do this, or we're not doing that. And as long as we, and now, like I said, I just had to tell my own son's mother to allow her husband to to be a man in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like she'd be like, all right, so example, like my son, he got his chores, he got to do the bathroom, I mean the kitchen, right? So his stepfather is like, yeah, I'll go tell him like, yo, your mom's is about to come in, you should go. I said, listen, this is where this is where it got to reverse at. I said, my fiance doesn't I don't my fiance warned my kids about me. I don't warn them about her. Y'all gotta switch the energy. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta switch the dynamics. It shouldn't be him, the stepfather coming in like, oh, your mom. No, it should be you warning him against his stepfather. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yo, your stepfather about to come in. You should get that together and let them handle whatever the outcome is of that. And if you could change that dynamic of your relationship, you'll be less stressed, and your son, our son, will will take a little better to what's going on.
Cause that way he know it's a united front. You can't play no game.
Exactly.
And people got to understand. Like, now, mind you, ladies, we're talking about people, men who have proven that their intent is to love your child. They're not gonna hurt your child. So leave the Tyler Perry stories at home. We talking about men who have shown you that they are here for you, for your children, and for this relationship. Okay, so
that's what I'm saying. It's like even with my my stepkids and their biological father, me and him is on the same. Like they gotta they know what it is. Their mother is just their mother. I'm not taking the importance of the mother, but what you gotta understand is that that's just it. She's just able to be their mother. They look for her for the this, that, and the third, but it's balanced. You understand what I'm saying? Because they know that they got 2 men to answer to. So it ain't even about, your mother didn't say something. It's like, damn, y'all got to answer to my dad and my stepfather. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's better when the dynamics is of out of respect and love, just that my boys love me. It's out of respect. It's not out of fear. It's not out of bribery. It's just out of respect and love because they know I love them so much, and they see. I think when they really understood that it was real is when they actually got to be around me and my son. Like when all of us is together, I think that's when they really realized nah, my stepdad really loved me because he don't treat. I gotta go, man. My wife just came down here almost. I gotta go.
Oh, nah, you good, bro. I'm about to get out this thing myself, man. But I'll say, hey, for the ladies, y'all seen plenty. You had about what 5, 6 married, engaged, proposing men come through the live. We talking about their shit, right? And as I always say, I be trying to tell y'all, my lives are always gonna be productive every fucking time. So when we get on here and you hear these women say, I hate women and this and that, and it's like, these are the conversations that get that should calm down the rhetoric that we see, my counterparts have lives about, right? You're seeing, they say men, they saying men don't want marriage, men, we just want to snatch your kids up and all this weird shit. And you done heard several men come through these lives and tell y'all, nah, I love my wife, I love my fiance, I'm about to propose to my girlfriend. So men are out here doing it, and that's why I'm gonna continue to have these conversations. So everybody sleepy, we got gym, we got work tomorrow, I do too. So I'm about to get up, but I took a nap earlier, so that's why I was up. But again, the live from yesterday, I'm gonna download it and post it on my YouTube today or in the morning, and because they take forever to download on my phone, so I figured I'd do it on my computer now. It's faster. But again, hey, appreciate Mel for coming through and exposing old girl and confirming what I already knew. Because now I'm gonna post that, but that's here nor there. But again, everybody, I'm glad everybody showed up. You know what I'm saying? Spoke their pieces. Y'all be safe, man. I'll catch y'all probably Friday. Thursday, Friday, one of them days. And Nick, stay out them Atlanta streets, man.
Earlier me.
I
have one question for you. Before you get off, Denny, could you talk about? I guess next time you bring up marriage, could you talk about like the legal kind of like standpoint about it, like prenups and all this stuff? Because that's why I wanted to learn. Because in my 20s, I kind of like shied away. I wasn't afraid of marriage. I would kind of like shied away from marriage because my older parents, I guess my relatives, they were telling like, oh, have you thought about prenups? Do you know what prenup is? Do you know about legal stuff? Because it's more than just love that goes into a marriage. You also want to be protected and know the legal stance.
Okay. Yeah. We can touch on that stuff next time. I wrote it down in my little book. What time, Lisa? I'm probably not gonna go tomorrow. I said, well, yeah, and Thursday I got class, so it'll probably be Friday evening, about 7 to 8, Friday evening. So yeah, that'll be when. But y'all be easy out there, man.